The mountains of Tython gleam under a swift sunrise. The spray of a thundering waterfall rises high into the morning air, refracting the rays of light that pour down from the sky into impossible colors. A lush forest sways in unison under a soft breeze, and a single delicate leaf from the rare cuation tree is plucked by the wind, a peaceful and infrequent event. It gracefully meanders its way down to the forest floor and comes to a rest. A boot immediately crushes the leaf, its seeds bursting in all directions. Darry Hart races through the wilderness. The young chiss dashes up a trunk of a fallen tree before leaping over an obstacle of twisted roots and branches. She lands, tucks into a roll, and continues the sprint. Her breath is heavy but controlled. A training probe beeps and flashes at her side. The race leads from the forest along a treacherous mountain pass towards the towering waterfall. The probe is beginning to creep ahead. Oh no, you don't, snarls Darry to herself. She doubles her pace around a vast pillar of rock before suddenly skidding to a stop, her eyes wide. Before her lies a steep gully that leads the rushing torrent away into the forest. She closes her eyes, breathes, then dashes. She hurls herself across the gap and slams bodily into the other side. Terrified, she clings on, the morning dew making the bank slick and cold. Her grip slackens. She falls. The beeping probe droid screams as Darry's combat boot connects with it. She uses it to hurl herself upwards before landing in a pile on the ground. The droid screeches, whirling away towards the forest in a lopsided flight, and soon it disappears. Lying on the floor, Darry breathes a sigh of relief. Well, that was lucky. Oh, wait. Luck doesn't exist, she reminds herself. She pulls a funny expression and pulls herself to her feet, breathing hard. And moving her blue-black hair from her vision, she looks upon the Jedi Temple, now bathed in morning light. She gives an uncertain sigh before making her way up the mountain towards it. Darry's training has been a varied affair. By the new code, she must embrace the teachings of many masters, that she might embrace many perspectives. Today, she will learn a lesson from each of her Jedi teachers: Thul Owo, Kai Oris, Beza Arel, and Ranan Vos. She gives a sigh as she approaches, spotting the Ithorian Jedi outside the temple. And so on this beautiful morning, I ask, Thul, what have you been doing this morning, and what lesson shall you impart today?
Yeah, Thul stands in the garden that he has cultivated since his arrival on Tython. It grows in wild colors of greens and reds and blues. Just a small sampling of the many plant life that inhabit this force-rich area. And he is trimming or pruning and cultivating these plants to flourish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Darry approaches and is still breathing hard, but just is watching you with an uneasy look.
Ah, I'm Darry. You're finished with your training.
About to begin it, I thought, Darry says, still breathing hard from the exercise. Just my morning routine. I think I lost my probe, though. She looks around.
I don't know much those things. They tend to find their way back to the temple when they are done. Come, here, look at these. And Thul gestures to some of the many plants here in his garden.
Harry takes a step forward. You've noticed that she has been the most uncertain around you. Only a week has it been since she's been brought to Tython, and yeah, she's never really been at ease in your company. But she's polite enough, and she approaches and sort of crouches down to look at your garden.
Yes, all plants are connected. Many do so by roots that we cannot see. Please sit. And I move her into the center of the garden where there's a meditation circle. And I gesture for her to sit down.
She does so. She sits cross-legged and looks up expectantly.
Can you sense these? Can you sense these plants? Focus your mind here in the garden, and only those. Start with this one. And he gestures to a bulbous plant with large growths and like large, broad leaves.
She stares at the plant for a moment before saying, "Everything here, it seems to radiate with the force. It's so hard to narrow in on just one thing. But I'll try." And she's going to make a sense check.
Can I
Yes.
guide her? Like, can I use my sense to like guide her focus?
Yeah, I think so. She rolled rather well, so she's able to connect with the plant. So you may do with that what you will. You can make a check too.
Yeah. I enter. I'll do that. So that's 5. Yep. So 8. So 15. Nothing on the destiny die, but
That'd be more than enough.
okay. Yeah, I sense that she has attuned herself to the plant, and through my mind's eye and through that speech, that connection that we have now, I ask her, reach out, feel the other plants here within the garden.
She does so. You happen to notice a flicker of frustration move across her face while her eyes are closed.
Is it because of strain? What feeling am I getting from that? Like just a strain to hold her senses within that kind of space?
It's as she pointed out before, really, it's that because Tython, there's a lot going on in terms of the force, and she's trying
Gotcha.
to narrow it down into just this area for sure. But she's focusing, and she's been successful so far.
You must learn to focus the force. Sometimes there are many life forms, and sometimes there are just a few. It is through this focus that you will gain strength.
It's like learning to use a different part of the body, like I'm seeing for the first time, like I'm smelling the first meal.
Now I want you to drive your senses into the middle of the garden. Seek out, you'll see it in your mind's eye, a purple flower with red tips. Do you see it?
There's a short moment before she smiles and she says, "The Anarian cluster.
Yes.
It looks like the Anarian cluster. I saw it once."
Now I want you with your senses to open the petals of that flower. Make it bloom.
I'm going to roll another sense check to see if she can actually open the flower. Yeah, there's a moment where nothing happens, and all of a sudden, as if the plant itself has sprung to life, well, even more so, it tilts back and the petals bloom.
Good, good, yes. Gentle. Gentle but strong. Hold it. So in my mind's eye, do I see, I mean, because I don't think we can physically see into that part of the garden, but do we see it like opening? Do I see it opening and blooming?
You absolutely do. It's like a chain reaction. Once one flower starts opening, another does, and another, until the garden becomes, with your assistance, a field of bloom.
Mm, yeah. A noticeable smile, what counts for a smile, passes over um, Thul's face, and he opens his eyes and breaks the connection. Well done, Dari. You're beginning to master focus. This will serve you well in the future.
She stands, looking around, opening her eyes for the first time to see the fruits of the labor that just occurred, and she sort of shakes her head, almost in disbelief.
The force is powerful, is it not?
She looks to you, and she says, "For some,
It can do many beautiful things, such as blooming flowers, but it can also be destructive. You must be wary of this side of the force. It is tempting, especially if the goal you seek is within your grasp. It will try to tempt and persuade you to use it in this fashion. You must guard yourself against such temptations."
Master Thule," she says before stopping herself, unsure whether she should address you as such, but then continues, "You say that everything is connected through the Force, just like everything on this planet is connected.
Yes?
There's something different about this planet, isn't there? It seems that in the short week that I've been here, when I'm optimistic and happy, it seems like the sun shines. And when I'm not, she sort of trails off and looks to the floor. You two have noticed that the planet seems to emulate the general temperament of you all whilst you remain on Tython.
Yes. This place draws, I believe, from our emotions, from our feelings. I have yet to discover fully its capabilities or its purpose in the wider will of the Force. But be careful. It is potent. Please, if something bothers you or distresses you, do not hide it, but come forth. It is through examination of these feelings that we can learn from them and understand and possibly heal them.
She nods, gives a thoughtful look, and then smiles. Who am I to approach next? She asks Thor.
I have not seen Kai this morning, but Beza was in the temple. You may find her amongst her technical things.
I'll go find Beza. And she sort of doesn't know what to do, kind of does a half bow, and then kind of takes off at a half run up the temple stairs.
Thor returns to his meditations and thinks about the shifting emotions of Tython more deeply.
As Dari Hart energetically skids around a corner, entering whatever room we find Beza in. Beza, what have you been up to this morning? And where are you?
This morning, Beza is setting up tea. Also on the table is a data pad with, if you were to look at it closely, a myriad of different tabs open. She's clearly been reading, poring over something. But at the moment, she has a very distinctive double teapot, where it has a teapot on the bottom and the top. And she pours the concentrated hot tea from the top into one cup and then the other, and then dilutes it with hot water from the other. And she looks up, unsurprised, to see Dari.
Master Thule sent me, Beza. Master Beza.
Just Beza, Dari.
She nods. This girl has been used to regimented discipline most of her life, so she's definitely struggling with the informality of the Jedi. She takes a step into the room and sits down and looks at the double teapot. What is that?
It is tea. Would you join me, Darinai?
What's tea?
It is a drink. It is quite hot, so take care you do not burn yourself.
Training with tea, she says, sort of half to herself. And she pulls a cup towards her and gives the cup a sniff. It smells interesting. And then she tries it. It's flowery, she finishes.
Indeed. It is a tea made from plants that Thule has grown.
It is all connected, a voice echoes in Dari's mind for a moment, and she smiles. It's beautiful.
I'm glad you think so. It is a favorite of mine. Now, tea is not just for drinking. It can be used as part of a conversation. And Beza will begin to explain to Dari that there's a certain a ceremony and protocol to such things, ways to show respect and to show slight, and that when done properly, even tea can be part of negotiations and diplomacy. Now, what do you feel from me?
She looks up, uncertain and a little bit shy. I can try, she says uncertainly.
Very good. I want you to reach out, focus on the tea. You're still drinking, we're still conversing, but at the same time, I would like you to try and sense my emotions.
She's going to do that, and she's going to make a sense check.
And when this happens, Beza will intentionally set herself in a certain emotional state of sadness.
Yeah, it isn't long before Dari's expression drops, and she looks wide-eyed at you for a moment. What's the matter?
Good. I was merely thinking of a sad memory of a childhood pet. It's a pity that we live longer than they do. But you did well. Now, when we try it again, we're going to attempt to keep up the conversation, and you will still attempt to sense my emotions. It is important to be able to, read the room is perhaps the best phrase, but you must not be obvious about it. There are many uses of the Force which are more subtle and more inclined towards diplomacy, and which can give you an edge, even should things turn towards less peaceful means. And Beza will kind of repeat that process with Derry, continuing to discuss perhaps the morning's exercise or what she'd done with Thule, and will go through a range of emotions until Dari is more able to continue her conversation and continue drinking tea while using the Force. It becomes more of a secondary skill for her, rather than needing to be her primary focus.
That's incredible. So as you and Dari explore this emotional spectrum through the Force, she experiences a number of things that are influenced by moments in your life that you've explained before, like the loss of a pet when you were young. She finally comes out of this state, the tea in her cup now, but the dregs, the leaves, and she, as carefully as she can, places the cup upon the table and gets up, turns to go to leave, and stops. And she turns and says, "You're from Chandrilla, is that right?"
Yes.
Was that the planet I saw?
It was.
She nods thoughtfully. Have you seen Kai? Thule said he had not seen him for a little while.
I believe I saw him leaving towards the more dense areas, the jungle, as it were, sometime before dawn.
She sighs, having already been there already today, and doesn't have much of a desire to go back, but she sort of rolls her shoulders and says, "Thank you, Beza."
I hope you will join me for tea again another time. And perhaps there can be a few less teaching moments and a bit more conversation.
She smiles and backs out of the room. Soon she's running down the stairs of the temple and off into the woods. And she opens her mind to try and find Kai now. Where might she find him?
Kai is sitting in a cave, like a small cave, quite deep in the jungle. He's like spent some time searching out the place, and he'd be waiting for her, like I think sending signals so that she can find him.
Yeah, you hear like the tumbling of small rocks as she's sort of clambering desperately up to this cave, and eventually she kind of emerges sort of energetically into the mouth of the cave, and she points at you, in particular at your belt, your lightsaber, and says, "When do I get one of them?"
Sit down.
She sighs and just sort of flops to the ground, cross-legged.
Do you know why I've chosen this place?
She looks around, not the smell.
It's home to a creature, a predator.
Her eyes widen, but she doesn't say anything. She's suddenly tense.
Teeth as long as your forearm. Claws. Incredibly sharp.
And you just want to sit here, she says.
Yes. You know, our people have been hunted for a long time. There was a time when none of us could walk free, where we had to hide our ways. That was the case for the Jedi for a long time.
I've heard of that. They were betrayed.
They were. What if you were a master of our ways, mighty in the ways of the Force, but you had to suppress it? Do you think that you could? That you would?
She gives a long stare before saying, I've had to repress a lot in my life.
And what if there was a great injustice and you had the power to try and stop it? Would you reveal yourself?
That would depend. Would I have the advantage? She smiles. I like to ensure of that before I make any move.
Have you killed before?
She doesn't move. And then she nods.
The Force is a path to a lot of powers. And with mastery comes power beyond what most people can dream of. I could reach inside a person and stop their heart. I could tear that tree from the ground and fling it at a ship. I could rip secrets from a person's mind. These are things that I can do and that the others can do. And we're not even masters like the old masters. But we don't do those things. What proverbs or stories do the Chiss have about power?
That it should be wielded like a weapon towards those that would seek to harm people akin to you.
Power is the blessing and the curse of this order and this existence. The only power that you should aspire to is power over yourself.
Will that alone keep you alive?
It will keep you kind and thoughtful and understanding and empathetic.
Are you kind, Kai?
I try to be. It's easy. What I'm saying is it's easy with this much power to conquer other people, to defeat them, to lord over them. It's easy. What's hard is conquering yourself and understanding why you shouldn't do those things. I struggle with that.
I'm used to being a cog in the machine.
You're not now. You have
No.
to follow yourself and your own desires and your own beliefs when it comes to what you want to do. There will be no direct orders or... What I'm saying is you have to rely on yourself and do what is right.
So you're not in charge of me?
No. You don't have to be here.
That's not what I meant. I want to be.
What I'm saying is I'm not forcing you to be here. I don't believe that anyone is in charge of anyone, really. Personal freedom is important to all of us, and
She sort of
You go.
She sort of rolls her eyes and says, no one should be in charge of anyone. Try telling that to the aristocrat. And she sort of leans with her back against the cave wall now, seemingly forgetting that you're in a den.
I think I will try and say that to you, the aristocrat, sometime. That's my hope, is that we can convince them that this is not a place for them, or anyone who comes with violence in mind. You have the power to kill. That's something that you will inevitably gain through this training. But what I'm trying to instill in you is that real power is having that ability and not using it. And then he'll close his eyes for a second and wake the creature that's in the back of the cave. I don't know what it is. I think it's some sort of alien tiger type thing.
Yeah, it's going to be a Vasaruk. And yes, it is like an alien tiger thing, for sure. It gives a terrifying roar, sound that seems to vibrate the walls of the cave, and snarling, it begins to prowl towards the two of you.
Breathe. We are in its home. And I could kill it. Maybe you could kill it.
She, you notice, has taken one step back, and her hand goes to her belt where her holdout blaster is, but she stops at those words and slowly crouches down, staring at the thing.
Yeah, Kai will stand next to her and watch it approach.
It continues to move towards you. Its four eyes blinking like a wave, one after the other. Spines upon its back sort of lift as it gives another.
What did Thule tell you?
He told me that everything is connected, she says quietly and softly.
Then tell it that you don't mean harm.
She's going to try to. This will be I guess, a mind tricky sort of thing, so we'll say sense for that. Yep. Are you going to aid in any way,
No.
Kai? No? Okay, that's fine. She closes her eyes, breathes, reaches out, but the call that you sense from her isn't quite. It lacks conviction in a way, and the beast continues to pace forward.
It will kill you. It's not personal. You look like food, and you're in its home.
I know I look like food. I know I'm in its home, she says, and then she sort of stops and tries once more.
Everything is connected. You are connected to it.
With a 6 on the destiny die, your words echo within her mind. The creature seems to sort of get down on its haunches, ready to pounce, and then it sort of relaxes. And that tension transfers into a long, yawning stretch. And the beast sort of takes one look at the pair of you, gives a long sniff, and with a flick of its tail, goes back to the back of the cave and disappears once again into the darkness. It worked, she says, still, and then suddenly realizes she raised her voice and then whispers again, I can't believe it worked.
Thule is much more clever than I am.
She sort of smiles and sort of holds back a laugh. Thank you for this. And she once again looks at you and says, so when do I get a lightsaber?
When you've earned it.
She rolls her eyes and sort of begins sort of softly treading towards the lip of the cave. Where's Rannan?
Oh, back in the temple, I think.
She sighs to go back to the temple, rolls her eyes and says, I'll catch you later. And she sort of skids down out of the cave and begins running back towards the temple. And once inside, where does she find Rannan?
So Rannan is not where she normally meets Dari, but she has left large doors at the base of the temple, like the cellar there, open, leading into older yawning hallways, which just make 2 red dots of the Chist's eye as she goes down, seeking out the night. Eventually she'd come to like a small subterranean cavern where a naturally formed passage winding up like a serpent through the roof probes up to the light above, and it gives like a faint glow in this like larger cavern that the hallway widens out to. And in that strange light, Rannan is there, and she'll walk towards Dari. Welcome.
It's pretty dark down here, Rannan, she says, looking around. I don't think I've seen this part of the temple before.
Come, sit. And she'll walk over to where there's a couple of rocks strewn about the floor, and she'll sit down cross-legged amongst them.
Yeah, she goes to your side and sits.
Remember your breathing and your training. Let go. Hone yourself to the Force.
Yeah. She closes her eyes and begins to concentrate on her breathing.
After a time, Rannan will begin to lift a couple of the smaller rocks up using the Force, and then a larger one, probably a little larger than a bowling ball or melon, and begin to like move them about us, kind of to peak it looming above Dari, and say, reach out with the Force and hold this burden.
She will try reaching out, her fingers outstretched. She's going to make an alter check. She's successful. She reaches out and is able to take on the burden of this small rock.
Yeah, eventually they're all kind of cast in her hold, looming above, and Rannan can sense the impressive youth holding this weight looming above her now. And once she sees that Dari is comfortable with the load, she'll say, she'll try to gain her attention with eye contact, even while the stones are held above us. And she'll say, you're a member of a 4-person mining expedition. There's a cave in, and all of your crew are trapped in the mine. A rock has crushed the leg of one of your crew members, and he'll die without medical attention. You've established radio contact with the rescue team and learned it will be 16 hours before the first drill can reach the space you're all trapped in. You calculate that this space is just enough oxygen for 3 people to survive for 16 hours, but definitely not enough for 4. The only way to save the other crew members is to refuse medical aid to the injured crew member, so that there will be just enough oxygen for you all to survive. What do you do?
She falters under the questioning, You watch as the weight above her sort of begins to shake slightly. 16 hours, she says. We have to wait 16 hours. Well, what do I have? What? And she sort of begins listing just loads of questions about, what she could possibly do to prevent the death of all of these people.
I think Rannon's just silent and lets her use her mind for tools to chip at the quandary.
Yeah, she does, and she continues. Maybe there'd be a way we could make a small tunnel to reach an air pocket or something, or she just is keep reaching. There's no conviction in any of her suggestions, really.
Rannon's hope would be
Hello,
that
everybody, and welcome.
like the conflict in her mind would laxen her hold on the stones and they'd begin to drop. And maybe at first she'd intended to start making some of them, but this is impressive, she thinks, and so we could just continue to watch and gain the measure of her by what she says of it and the kind of questions she asks.
She keeps going. She's listing things, desperately trying to appease the problem, desperately trying to sense from you. You can almost sense her mind reaching out to yours to try and get some handle on what the answer for this situation could be. And then all of a sudden, in an outburst, the rock in her grasp flies across the cave or the area of the temple that you're in and smashes against the wall. She turns around and says, "I'm sick of trying to be something I'm not. Of course I would kill them if it meant sparing the lives of the others. I'm of third sight. We're not meant to feel for one life when others would be at stake."
There is the other option.
What option? She says, frustrated.
Come to me when you discover it. And she'll stand and say, come. And she'll walk from the room and stop and then point down to where the chiss is and say, and take 2 of those. And she points unseeing to 2 of the kind of palm-sized stones that are laying about now.
Dari is staring at you with anger, brimming, or no, not anger, frustration, sort of just at the very brim. And she is desperately searching for words. And then upon your data pad, there is a there is an incoming comm to you, Rannin, from LXE. And he says,
she'll silence it. Oh,
okay.
sorry, you go.
No, you go ahead. You silence it, no problem.
Yeah, if she wouldn't have it already, I think she wouldn't go like into this meeting with her mobile phone on type thing.
Sure.
Yeah, once she can hear the footfalls of Dari behind her, she'll go down deeper in the cave, leaving that passage behind that was lit by Warrens up to the surface, so that it becomes fully dark now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she follows.
Eventually, the sounds would change from our echoed footfalls to like crunching and scraping, and we're walking on the dried carpet of like dead roots, an ancient detritus that's kind of gathered up here over who knows how long. And our breathing and ingle and footfalls mingle. And I'll eventually stop and turn to her. She could probably only just like feel my presence and see like some kind of faint outline as her eyes trying to adjust. And I can see her 2 red ones, just like in that dream or vision I'd experienced from the Nexus. And I'd say to her, do you think it's coincidence that you were born and come of age manifesting an unprecedented connection to the Force, just as an ancient and mighty threat reemerges? That now as the Grisk wage war, devastation upon your people, you are here to learn the ways of the Jedi?
She blinks her red eyes in the darkness. You're asking me if I think I'm some kind of fated individual sent on this task? No, I don't think that.
Yes.
I don't think that at all, Rannan. I've killed people for the Chiss, unquestioningly. What could the Force want with me? And
Indeed.
you can see where these nagging doubts that she's had throughout all of the lessons she's had today. There's always been a little bit of uncertainty, not that much conviction, because truly you can see she doesn't fully think she should be here.
How you use the powers you will gain in the time to come will determine your fate and maybe that of your people. You'll be tempted by the dark side of the Force and confront your ethos in the light side of the Force. Either way, it seems you are fated.
I asked you before, Rannan. I asked you how it is you can tell the difference between the light and the dark. To me, it's just one thing.
Where are we right now?
Beneath the temple.
What do you see?
I can't see anything.
Come back to the temple when you have seen, and she'll move past the youth, intoning that she should stay here. And she'll leave her with the 2 stones and head back towards the temple and see how long it takes her with those stones and the dry roots to see something down there.
Amazing. And that concludes the lessons for today. So whilst Dari muses on this, you're able to flick your data pad on Rannan to see that there was a transmission that came from LXC that was actually routed to all of you. A message from him saying, the sensor array of the edict has picked up an emergency transmission. The Republic vessel Electo signals for immediate assistance. Shall I transmit the signal to the council chambers or to the edict? That's where your 2 hollow displays are, essentially.
Just relay message at once, Alexei.
Yeah, so you guys can choose where you listen to the message, really. Either the council chambers in the temple or on the ship. That's up to you.
Well, we're probably closer to the chambers if me and Baze are at the temple already, right?
Yeah,
Than
for
the
sure.
ship. Would that make
Yeah.
sense? Then
Yeah,
let's
that's
go there.
fine.
Hey, what do you reckon?
Absolutely. Yep, so all of you gather in the council chambers. LXC, having already rerouted a transmission from the sensor array of the edict. This is Captain Ganymede of the New Republic vessel Electo 7. We are under attack. Our course from Empress Tata to Chandrila has come under assault by rogue fighters. They have wiped out our escort, and our shields are now suffering heavy bombardment from a Gazanti-class cruiser. There is heavy static as some kind of impact occurs on the recording. Tactical analysis reports they are targeting our weapon systems and avoiding life support. This, with their vectored approach, leads us to conclude that they intend to board. We harbour a vital, advanced prototype that will contribute to the welfare of the galaxy at large. It must be protected and not fall into enemy hands. Our sensor array is in critical condition. Hostiles are attempting to prevent any distress call. We have enough power to transmit this short-range comm, and we are desperately calling for aid. If there is anyone out there, in the core or beyond, help us. You're our only hope. And then the transmission flickers and stops. The only thing remaining being the flickering symbols that denote last coordinates and trajectory. What do you all make of this?
We have heard this plea and now we were bound. Let us go. she can continue her tests.
That's a question I was going to ask, actually. Do you reckon you guys would have shared the Nexus with her yet?
I certainly wouldn't have hidden it from her, but if I know that the others don't want her to know, then I wouldn't have told her either.
Sure, that's fine. Yeah. No deception, just haven't told her. That's good.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, I imagine there is, yeah.
And if she gets into it, then great. Then she can be our master, right? Like she is the chosen one. So it's a good test.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Absolutely.
I turn to the others. Should we not find more about this problem? Let us reach out to the Nexus and find out what this. Can you read that last line about?
Yeah. Let's do that.
Yeah, I can replay the message, as it were, and by that I mean read it again.
It's just that the bit about like they have a prototype, or
yeah, so they were obviously a little bit vague about this. The description was, "We harbor a vital advanced prototype that will contribute to the welfare of the galaxy at large."
okay, that's a bold claim,
but vague as well. In case
I was about to say, yeah.
In case of interception, perhaps you don't
imagine like heaps of huts pick that up and are like, whoa. Come and take both, right? Like,
absolutely.
Come and save me. I've got $1 billion.
We don't have time to sit here and investigate. Every moment could be their last if they're being boarded.
We could reach out with the Nexus. It would be quicker than the edict, quicker than us.
And what if we discover that they are being boarded this very moment?
We use the Nexus.
To what?
I assume you want to save these people and investigate this mysterious payload they have.
I do.
So to do that.
All right.
Or we fly there on a small vessel. I'm easy. I'll do whatever.
Yeah, Kai wants to go and be there. Because the Nexus is vague. But I guess we haven't used it that much.
Yeah, let's go then.
Absolutely happy for you to do an initial check with the Nexus if you prefer, though. Don't think that's off the table. More than happy if that's what you want to do.
I mean, would it be out of? I mean, would it take moments? Like,
it didn't last time.
Yeah, it was long, right? It took a long time last time.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It wasn't. It didn't. It was a long time last time. You had to sort of.
It was a long time. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't know if I said that.
Yeah,
let's just go. We'll leave Dari in charge of the temple.
That's why I'm keen to not, because I think it took like a long time to set up and go through it all.
Yeah. All right. That's cool. Let's do it.
Okay. So, hurrying to the edict, which is sort of still where it was landed upon sort of a rocky plateau, moving up the ramp that descends and then lifts up once you're all inside. Alexei is already inside, immediately flicking switches above in the bridge and below on the computer decks. Do you guys want Alexei to fly? I know you made him fly last time, but that's up to you. I don't know if you have added anything in pilot or anything.
Like, we'd have to fly out of our system, right, because of that force field, excuse the pun, but then him after that.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so whoever wants to guide the vessel using the force, speak up. It'll be a sense check.
I guess I'll pilot it out.
Excellent. So as the edict rises up and begins to move into the atmosphere, Fool, you reach out. What'd you get?
15.
Yeah, that's fine. What's it like when you guide the edict out of orbit?
Yeah, what was Dairies, I'm assuming we told her we're leaving. We're gonna just be like, hey,
Let's just
hey,
leave her.
just not saying it. Okay, fair
Yep.
enough. Then yeah, it's calm on Tython as we move away from its seemingly mercurial environment.
Yep. And what we're going to do now, because you've actually no, not what we're going to do. What LXE is going to do. He's going to make a let's see, astrogate. I believe it's astrogate.
Can we co-pilot then in that case?
Yep, of course you
So
can.
I'll do it.
So you give him an extra d6, yeah?
Yep, I'll
If you're
co-pilot.
assisting. Perfect. Do you want me to roll that extra d6, or do you want to roll that for me, Nico?
Oh, you can roll it.
Yep. Yeah, perfect. So as Alexei is typing these coordinates into the navigational computer, you see that Empress Tata is not actually that far away at all. It will be a 3-hour flight for you to arrive at those coordinates, which will give you ample preparation time to consider anything you'd like before arriving. And so as the stars elongate and the edict launches into hyperspace, is there anything you'd like to do to prepare before you arrive?
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm going to suit up into armor and like ready my weapons.
I would like to get in touch with somebody on Chandrila and double check that they're actually expecting this vessel. That this is
Like check it out, like verify it.
verify the information through whatever channels I might have.
You absolutely can. The only thing I will say is that you have been away for some time, Beza. So that will be.
Oh
something-
right, we haven't like contacted anybody.
No, you haven't
dozen
spoken
years.
to them. So this would be your
Whoops.
first interaction with them. So you can do that for sure. You have connections.
Sure.
Okay, yeah.
What if it was like me or Thule or somebody who contacted them in a sort of like a we're just checking in and blah blah blah, making sure that this is en route.
Yeah,
you know,
right. Like if it's Lloyd Swoopbike King, who was part of the rebellion, which led to this like new republic being established, that would have some gravitas, no matter how long he's been away from it, right? You'd imagine.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
and
I
it
don't see any
wouldn't
reason why not.
necessarily reveal Beza, I guess, if that's something we want to avoid, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
I guess
So
that's up to Beza. I don't know. I thought
Yeah,
it
that
might
sounds
be
like-
better if we have a prepared revelation of the Jedi, rather
Yeah.
than this is how the Jedi Order has been
yeah, a quick
rediscovered.
phone call.
Yeah, agreed.
Right?
Yeah.
I
Okay.
just gonna see
So
if there's any kind of like back channel to get information and see if
Hmm.
this is legit.
yeah,
Well,
I
you
think
could check. I don't know. Sorry, I guess it's a secret thing they're transporting, so it wouldn't be like on any records. I guess. Yeah.
Nor would they talk about it to unverified people on channels,
Yeah,
right? Either.
yeah.
Is it really?
which is why I mean I'm happy for you to make a check to see if you could bypass certain channels that Beza might know of, but I mean that's up to you. It would, yeah. It's murky, shall we say?
Mm.
Well, mom and dad.
How's my computers?
My computer's is 3. If that's any
Yeah,
benefit.
it'll be a computer's check for you to see if you can get onto a basically security force wavelength of
What-
some kind for the.
What if you both try hack it, and then so whoever's got the highest gets a bonus die from the other who's
Yeah.
assisting?
Yep, good idea.
What's yours, Beza?
Mine's also 3.
Okay, I'll just help you. Give you a bonus die.
Oh, you're counting on me rolling well. Oh boy.
Do you want
All
to
right,
do
let's
the other
see.
way around?
Yes. Do
Okay.
I don't trust my dice.
All right. So +1 from you. Okay. It's going to be 15.
Yeah, so you're able to use the HoloNet. Actually, you get into basically what would be public communications array, and through that you're able to reroute into a security communications frequency. And sure enough, a voice on the other end says communication frequency 2894 gamma 648. We are receiving.
The name of the ship was Ganymede, or that was the captain's name?
The captain was Ganymede. The ship was the Electo 7. I'll put that in the chat.
Electo 7. Okay. Routine check here. We had a distress call from a Electo 7, Captain Ganymede. Just trying to ensure that that ship is in fact en route to Chandrilla.
There is a brief pause. Do you have a security clearance?
Okay. I don't know. Can I use a mind trick across space?
The Nexus.
Not without the Nexus.
Yeah,
You're
okay.
on board the ship. But I can say you could potentially have someone running security whilst you're talking, so you could sort of quickly do another check to see if you can quickly bring up a
Sure.
a clearance code.
Yeah.
A code. Yeah.
Okay. I'll do the same again then, computers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
please,
Basil's
yeah.
trying to help you out.
Nice.
Yep. All good.
9. 11. 17.
Yeah, that's fine. So there's a whirring, and then you can hear a number of buttons being pressed. And under his breath, he says, "Well, it's an old code, but it checks out." Guardian class Electo 7 is indeed undergoing a return mission from Empress Tata.
All right. Thank you very much. Oh, hang on. No, go on.
We could advise them of what's happening, right, to get them to hyperdrive to this location.
Radin quickly grabs the receiver if you want. Yeah.
Well, we might have spoken about this before, but like if we can make contact with them, we can tell them about this attack that the ship that's being attacked, like they were damaged or whatever, they couldn't get a message out further than this. So we can bring cavalry in. Like, so even if we arrive first, we will know we've got reinforcement arriving, or vice versa. We arrive there and the situation's
what if we want the thing
taken care of? Oh, what? Jedi.
No.
Well, what if it's like a nuke or something?
We want them to have it to kill the
We'll
chess,
get
or do we
there
like
first.
the chess now?
What if it's like a biological weapon? Do we take away
We'll
from
get
them?
there first. We'll figure it out then. Tell them.
Okay. I feel like this
I'm
is
easy
like
either way.
going
You
to
do
a
what
crime
you-
scene and calling the cops to tell them to go.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's exactly what it is.
but we're the
Good
criminals.
We're not the criminals.
Okay. Yeah, I'll tell them
It's up
that.
to you.
I told them that
You
there
don't-
was a distress signal.
Okay,
Um,
but they don't know where it is.
Well, you can relay the signal that you received
We
to
can
them
just give
now
them
if
the
you
message,
wish.
yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'll pass it along then.
Yeah, definitely. There's a whirring as the transmission is basically put through to that communications frequency, and the operator on the other end, the communications officer, begins asking questions. But I think by that point, maybe you're already gone. Who knows? Yeah. So the New Republic is going to now be counted as alerted to the situation. You'll likely expect a response of some kind, but when is the question? Is there anything else you wish to do on this journey? Anything you wish to discuss, like any tactics, anything that you want to do?
Let's try not to kill anyone. We don't know what it is
try and save
or
everyone.
why they're attacking it. It could be pirates, or it could be gangs, or it could be any number of things, but let's try and resolve it with as little loss of life as possible.
Agreed.
Alright, I guess when we get close enough we need to... Do we have a shuttle on this? No, we don't. So we're going to have to, like, board from our ship?
Yeah, so the edict has umbilicals, so you can attach through holds like that.
Okay, perfect. Yep. Cool, that's it for me.
Okay, right. Well, the 3 hours passes quietly, perhaps contemplation on what is ahead. And then there is the familiar rumbling as the edict drops from hyperspace. Before you is a gleaming blue neutron star. And before it, there is an image silhouetted. You do indeed see a New Republic Guardian class light cruiser. It is battered. It has obviously come under severe attack with only a single thruster burning at the rear of the ship. Now, this kind of ship, I won't make you roll, I'll just tell you, this ship is basically deployed for support and envoy missions. It's invariably quite a well armed vessel. But it has clearly been outmaneuvered and defeated by another vessel, which also hangs silhouetted before this neutron star. As the communication said, a Gozanti cruiser. It is slightly larger, and wheeling around it, you see the shapes of 4 fighters. And suddenly there is a hail from the communications array from the Gozanti. Do you answer?
Yes.
Certainly.
Yep. Upon the screen, there flickers an image of a man. He has long black, slick black hair with a black handlebar mustache. He wears what looks to be quite advanced-looking armor. He appears before you as a hologram, and he says, "Announce yourselves. This situation is not of your concern. None of your concern. We would request that you would change your trajectory and leave, or suffer consequences."
Well, it seems that you've attacked this ship for no reason that we can discern, and they've sent a distress call. We're here to answer it. What authority are you attacking this ship?
By the authority of the people that pay me, he says with an egotistical grin. I'll tell you one more time. Change your vector, or I'm afraid we will be forced to open fire.
Ah, okay. Understood. Apologies. And as I'm doing this, I'm going to communicate mentally to lock our weapons on their ship, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it's obviously mercenaries or something. And he'll say, what's happening? Who's paying you?
He sort of turns to the side, as if smiling at someone, like he's in on the joke. And as he turns, you see upon his arm a pauldron that bears a symbol that I won't even ask you to roll for, because you of all people, Kai, would recognize it. It is the symbol of a black sun upon his pauldron. And he lets you see the symbol and then looks back and smiles. You'll understand that my employers are...
Oh, it's okay. You're amateurs. Don't worry. It's fine. I was concerned you might be Imperial or something, but actually it turns out that you're just common criminals, so this will be easy.
What will be easy, he says, suddenly annoyed.
Well, dealing with this situation, you're obviously not a threat, so...
It is only a moment of time before we have what we have been looking for. Our enforcers are already on board this Electo 7.
Mm-hmm. Right, yeah. And you think they're going to get off the ship?
Are you intending on stopping them?
Yes, I am, yeah.
He gives a shrug and says, "Alert the Gozanti. Tell them weapons free." And it's at that point I would like you all to roll perception, which will count as your initiative. And because this is ship combat and Alexei is piloting, he will be adding his pilot check to this.
Could we have prepped the weapons since I was sending that?
Absolutely, you'll be
Yeah.
able to open fire with concussion missiles as well as your
Wonderful.
your ship. Let's see. So yeah, perceptions in the chat, please. Let's see.
This is where we're weakest.
Yeah, we want to get off the ship as quick as possible, I think, and onto their ship.
Right. So as battle stations are sort of risen, the lights in the edict turn red. This is the first time you're bringing this vessel into combat, and we're finally going to see what it can do. But first, howling from the depths of space, 4 fighters launch themselves at you. Tri-wings. They open fire upon the edict with, let's see what they've got. They've got linked laser cannons, which is 4d6, which they're going to aim towards your shields. Let's see. Okay, interceptor corvette edict. Right. So the first one does a flanking strafe. It's blaster bolts bouncing from the shields. Second one actually gets through to the hull, but it's glancing, doesn't do anything. There is a sudden rock as the edict takes a glancing flash from the side. Third one completely misses, arcing towards you, seems to fly upside down and beneath the edict. And another glancing blow to the hull as the fourth one swings in, but no damage has been done to the hull as of yet. So that is the tri-wings. Let's see who's up next. Beza.
Remind me what all our ship can do.
Of course, we're just going to try these out because I'm still learning the ship combat. But essentially, this operates in the same as a normal combat. Aboard the ship, you will be able to basically at your discretion do what you want to help you win the fight. You can either jump on the cannons that you have. Someone in the cockpit can aim the concussion missiles, which fire on one round, have another round to reload, and then can fire again. Or you can do things with messing with their sensors, anything mechanical, basically whatever you want.
Thank you, Lloyd. Lloyd just put a whole bunch of stuff in the chat as well.
That's great, thank you, yeah.
So you basically do actions as normal, but you use the ship's stats of mobility, sensors, and fire
That's correct, yeah.
Instead of your own stats. So for mobility, you're doing anything that's, dodging,
That's right.
moving and stuff. Firing, you use those ship stats instead of our own stats, basically.
Apart from piloting, because in 0.5, the update, you get to add your piloting to the base of the ship. So what I'll do is, if you haven't got it open already, I will put the campaign guide through so you guys can have a look at it.
Let's see it.
Let's see, because in ships, the edict stats, that's what they are. I should have posted that first, to be fair. I just thought as LXE was going to be doing the piloting, then it would, but I forgot that, yes, gunnery and things like that also come from that. Okay. So if you look under ships, you'll find the Edict Interceptor. If you wish to jump onto the quad laser turrets, that'll be that's 4 die.
Yeah, sure, I'll do that.
Okay, Beza. So rushing to one of the sides of the ship, you can jump onto the quad laser turret and adding 2 dice to whatever you have in gunnery. Roll that, and that is your attack.
Okay.
So if you have anything in gunnery, do that.
So anything in gunnery or anything in mechanical plus gunnery?
Mechanical plus gunnery, that's right, and then
Okay.
add two d6 for the firepower of the ship.
Okay. That is 13.
Excellent. So, Beza, you are able to hit this tri-wing. Roll me 4d6, please, and tell me what you get damage-wise.
That is 10 damage.
Yeah, you can see that these are stunt fighters and aren't heavily shielded in the slightest. So where do you hit this thing to make it explode immediately?
It like rips one of the wings off, which impacts into the fuselage, which then destroys it.
Yeah, it's a rolling mess in space. And fiery bits of debris flash past the gunnery emplacement that you're on. Excellent stuff. So after that, it is now Rannon.
So to fire a concussion missile at the Gazanti, I need to roll 2 dice for firepower, plus my gunnery skill.
That's correct.
9 plus 7 is 16 all up.
So this is a level that the Gazanti, and that is gonna hit. So I'd like you to roll the damage, which is 6d6, please.
Okay. 8, 12, and 6. 18 damage.
Perfect. Now you can see some of that is absorbed, but the concussion missiles slam against its shields. The vast cruiser kind of begins slowly arcing around towards you, clearly trying to maneuver for better position.
And is it right that I can attempt to do another shot, but I take 1 dice off?
Yes, that's right. So
So then
every action that you take removes a d6. That's right. Yeah.
Oh, so I should have removed a d6 from the first one if I wanted to do
It
that.
is.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
No
a good
worries.
point. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's
so
good
that's
to
it. That's
remember
it for me
next
then.
time. That's absolutely fine. So we'll say that concussion missiles automatically reload, so you don't have to waste that. For the next turn, you can be doing something else while it reloads.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's Thule.
Yeah, I don't see Thule, the space druid, manning one of these lasers with an alien yelp. So he, through squinted eyes, will look at the analysis of the Electo. Is it now sits in? Is it crippled and unmoving?
From the sight of it, out of the viewport, you can see that it is unmoving and very battered. If you want a full systems report, you can use sensors to do that.
Yeah, I'm actually going to take 2 actions then. I'm going to do that.
Sure.
And then I'm going to reach out to the defenders of the Electo and try to communicate them through the Force, if that's possible.
Yes, it certainly is.
Okay. So my first one for sense. Ooh, okay, that's really high. That's 22 with 6 on the Destiny dice.
Oh my goodness. Well, that 6 on the Destiny die, I think, will mean that you sort of close your eyes and reach out, and you sense like past conversations and commands given from a particular individual that is still alive upon the Electo. With a bit of detective work, rather, you're able to tell that you have made a connection with the Force, through the Force, sorry, with the captain, Ganymede.
And
you sense him.
Is it currently crippled then, the Electo, that can it move?
Yeah, it would seem that the remaining the thruster, the one remaining thruster is the thing that's keeping it sort of in one place. You note that the neutron star has a very dense gravitational pull. So it's in a rather sticky predicament if it loses that.
I gotcha. So it can't, so it's just doing everything it can not to drift into the neutron stars.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay. I will then use my second to communicate with the captain. Another 6 on the Destiny die, but that's a lower DC, so That's going to be 11, 13, 14.
Yeah, you'll be able to manage a few words to him. He won't. He's not a force sensitive. He's not going to be able to respond. But you can certainly put a message in his head if you wish.
We are here to help. We are your ship. Where are we? Like off their starboard or something, or?
Yeah, sure. So I've actually drawn a diagram. Let me think. What's right? You're right of it. I think that's starboard. Yeah.
Yeah. We are friendly. Do what you must to assist in us boarding your ship. We can help.
Yeah, you can sense desperation from him. And it seems that he's under a lot of stress, but isn't actually fighting at this point. So you don't know whether he's sealed away or if he's already been captured, or you don't know what's going on with him. But he's not fighting. That's something you can work out. But he definitely hears that message, you can tell, and is alarmed by it for sure.
Yeah, I tried to communicate like security and confidence and hopefulness through it.
Yeah, certainly. Perhaps you'll bolster him to greater acts of courage in whatever's going on within the halls of the Electo 7. So, after Thul, we have Kai.
I'd like to do 2 actions. I would like one to angle the shields to only one side of our ship, and then pilot the ship between the Gazanti and the Electa.
Very good. So, darting forwards, the
I know, it's
edict.
insane.
No, that's absolutely fine. The edict moves in between the Electo 7 and the Gozanti. Shields are, put to your port side.
Okay, so I got a 25 on piloting, which is something I'm very good at. And then I'm going to do a sensors check to try and move the shields. Is that correct, do you think?
I thought there was a shields thing. Let's see. I could very well be wrong.
Well, it has a shield stat, but like I think I would kind of think, because I have to use one of the stats from the.
Oh yeah, it has
ship.
to be that. Yeah. So yeah, I'd say sensor, sure. Yeah.
Okay. And do I combine that with my own sensors skill?
That's right, you do.
Yeah.
Did you say you're piloting though, Kai?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
He's actually really good at it, and I have never done it for some reason.
Oh, okay, no, that's fine. No, that's all right. That's fine.
I kind of forgot that I was a swoop biker. I have pilot skill, like really good swoop pilot skill.
Okay, well, in that case, then we'll be so make a pilot check first. Then
Yeah, so I did. I got that's what I
25.
25. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
So the intent would be to sort of like boost forward quickly and put our ship between their ship and the guys we're trying to save. If they have an umbilical connecting them, then I will ram through that.
Oh yes, ants in
actually,
space.
they actually don't. You
Okay.
suspect that they would have boarded the Electo
Vessel?
shuttles.
Okay.
The only thing that could land on the Electo would be shuttles.
Okay.
Anything bigger wouldn't be able to go inside the hangar.
Gotcha. Okay. So then I will do my sensors to angle the shields. So it's going to be
Perfect.
2 and 2. That's 16. Jesus. Yep.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. So I believe angling the shields to one side makes that side stronger, but the other side weaker, right?
Yeah, I would assume so. I don't know, like, if there's a mechanical thing for it, but sort of narratively, at least, I'm trying to move more of our shields to the side where the Gazanti is, so that if they broadside us, we'll have some sort of resistance.
Okay, that's absolutely fine. I really like that as well. Very Star Warsy. So you angle the deflector shields, belt the edict between the Electo 7 and the Gazanti. Perfect.
Yep.
It is now the Gazanti's turn. It's actually having to use its turn to face you. So because it's that big, so you have maneuverability on your side, which is good. So it will spend its turn doing that with the pilot check. That would be command actually, because it's a cruiser. So let's see, command. Yeah, so you see this. I mean, it's not the biggest vessel in the Star Wars universe by any stretch, but it's still fairly intimidating to see a cruiser start angling itself towards you. But that's what it's done in its turn, and it will be able to open fire next turn. So that brings us back to the Tri-Wings, who are going to spin round. In fact, one of them is going to do a sense check to see if they can tell the deflector shields have been angled in a certain way. Oh. No, they do not. Sorry, Beza, go on.
The one fewer in number.
They got what? Sorry?
Didn't I hit one of them?
Yes. One's dead.
Woohoo.
Okay, right. So they don't actually know that the deflector shields have been angled in a different way, so they're just going to be attacking normally. Again, just flecking off your shields. Just you, the ship rocks slightly as the deflector shields take a bit of a battering from the first two, and then the one remaining one scrapes the hull. Oh my god, they don't quite have enough to get through to you. That's okay. Well, yeah, they're basically pressing on you, and the fact that the edict has belted forward as well in such an unpredictable way, such a it's a frigate, and it's just displayed like outstanding maneuverability there. So the Tri-Wings have still been fairly useless at this point, but it is now Beza's turn. 3 remain.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna re-angle the cannons.
You've got, no, it's okay. I know what you mean.
Whichever ones I'm on.
Yeah, the 2 quad laser turrets.
17.
That's gonna hit. Yeah, that's gonna hit. All right. You do your damage and see if it gets through the shields.
Oh, 16.
That was 16 damage. Yeah, that is it. It's toast. What happens to this one?
This one she has lined up better, and it just goes straight into whatever serves as an engine on a spaceship. I don't know. I assume they have some kind of engine.
Yeah, thrusters, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. In a spray of light and explosions, it blinks out into the unforgiving void. Yeah. Right, Rannon.
So are we able to? We went behind a ship to put it between us and the Gazanti, right? But then it maneuvered to get sight on us, so we can see it again now.
Right. So yeah, you're now directly behind the Electo 7. The Gazanti is just angling towards your port side. So it's swinging around to face your port side. So it will be, yeah.
And so I can shoot lasers at it, for instance.
Let me see. Yes, because there's one turret that hasn't been used, so you can absolutely use that turret. Yes.
Could I get? Do you guys think I should get Alexei to aid me, or get him to set the umbilical?
I think maybe the umbilical. The question that I have is like, if I'm the best flyer and also a murder machine, should I be flying the ship or should I go on the other ship?
Flying, it keeps us alive. It's more important than succeeding at the mission. So the pilot's more important than the killing.
Grant. So then who's going to go onto the other ship and get the thing and save the people?
Thul, I guess, because he saves things and he's useless on a ship.
Okay, and you?
Yep.
Okay, I mean, I can fly the ship
Beza's
on my
good
own.
with tech. All right. Well, then maybe 3 of us.
As far as I know, like I can take 2 actions, 1 to fire and 1 to move every turn.
It's because but Beza's poning all those little ships that are buzzing around us. That's really awesome. Like, we might get to a stage where the aerial threats are dealt with, and then you guys reinforce us on the ship on foot.
Okay,
Yeah, that works.
Works for me.
Okay, so I'll tell Alexei. Dice and 5, so 16. And for the other one,
I love that.
6 all up. So probably a miss, I guess.
Yeah, that is a
16 and
miss.
6.
Yeah, but you can definitely roll your damage for the first one. So that's 4
4,
d6. Yeah.
8, 10, 18.
18. Wow. Hang on a second. There is a lurching through the Kazanti
Yes.
as you hit a critical weapon system. I think that 6 on the Destiny die is going to buy you a bit more time. It sort of seems to overswing almost in its attempt to sort of bring its broadsides against you. So that was really cool. Excellent. Thule.
Yeah, is the umbilical being extended onto their ship?
The command. I mean, Rannan said for someone to go and do that. Someone needs to
Alexi,
spend their turn. Oh yeah, I haven't put Alexi in the initiative. I should have
Alexi
done.
planted the umbilical. Yeah.
Yeah,
So we
Alexi
can
could have done that. Yeah,
and I can
that's
move,
fine.
right? Is that right?
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Yep. So I'll start going with Thul. He probably outpaces me, right? Because
Yeah, if
he's
it's
just
like
using his entire turn.
I will I'll be like running down the now currently extending umbilical, like as it starts to expand and reach that connect with that ship. And as soon as I reach the hull, does it have to like cut through, or are we like docked?
Yeah, so the umbilical basically attaches to a receiving pod that will open when you put essentially a code in, but you can just hack it, break through, whatever you want to do.
Okay. Yeah. If it doesn't give way or if it doesn't open, then the lightsaber will fling into my hand, and I will cut open. Yeah, cut it open. So which is it? Do I need to cut in, or does it?
You know what? Actually, I don't think that's. Yeah, I think you'd probably actually be able to just open it. Actually,
Okay.
I reckon.
Yeah, I do so.
Rather than just ripping it open with a lightsaber. Yeah.
Sense, do I know where like the crew is, where danger is?
You just know where the captain is, which is at the front of the ship.
Okay. Yeah, I sensed his distress, so I move in that direction.
Oh, so you're actually going straight in. Okay. So what we'll say then is the umbilical sort of the opening pod comes through, and you see that there is a drop. You're actually on top of the Electo 7 at this point, so you'll be dropping into it, into what looks to be an assembly point.
Okay.
So if you just want to jump straight in, you're more than welcome to.
I do so.
Yep. You drop straight out of this port. I'm just bringing up a different map here. Hang on. So you drop out of the umbilical, and yes, as I said, you land in an assembly point. And looking up, you see a number of figures rushing at you down the corridor of this vessel. It is sleek in design, with white interiors, as many Republic ships have. And skidding along the shiny floors are, let's see, 8 individuals, heavily armored, wielding blaster rifles, blaster carbines. And as they level their weapons at you to open fire, that is where we're going to take a short break.
Fuck.
So before we quickly go and grab drinks, I just want to quickly say, because I have meant to do it every session actually, but I keep forgetting. For those of you wondering about this system that we're using, this is Hyperspace D6 by Matt Click. I've actually put in the description a link to these rules because I think more people should be playing this game. It's really fantastic. And the other thing I wanted to mention, keen listeners will know that there are, let me see, 3 members of The Watch, the other game that I'm running on Performance Check at the moment. If you've enjoyed that game and really like the system that we use in it, I've also put a link to Lloyd's, let's see what it's called, Journeys Making Travel Matter. I've put that into the description as well because I've had a few people ask about it. Really fantastic little supplement that we base the game The Watch on. Really fantastic for structuring travel, but also dramatically structuring travel. I found it really good for the horror vibe that I'm going with The Watch. And it's not even $3, is it, Lloyd?
No, it's not even $3. Not quite.
It's not even $3. Sorry, I don't know. I just waiting for you to say.
Had to-
Yes, you're right.
I had to unmute several things. I was like, oh, Jesus.
No, I know. I realised that. I'm so sorry. No, but I mean, it's. I thought I'd point it out as well. Lloyd does some really good things for me. Like he hosts this game. He hosts the game and does all these wonderful graphics. And so I'm just going to be his personal merchant because I know he would never plug his own wares, but I'm going to do it for him. So anyway, after all of that, thank you ever so much, guys. Go grab yourself a drink. We'll be back in 5. So Thul, you've landed out of the umbilical, and you see two separate groups of Black Sun enforcers darting towards you, blaster carbines in hand. What do you do?
And there are 8 of them.
That's right. So there are two groups of 4. Enforcer Group Dawn and Enforcer Group Zenith. They basically are acting as a unit.
Do they surround me? Are they?
No, they actually take points in front of deployable cover that they lay down before them, and sort of file behind them as they arrive.
Okay. The low rumble of an Athorian, of my Athorian bellow seems to come into my throat, and it just sounds like a motor starting, just and I release a force bellow, which I think is kind of like an area of effect. And under what I've read, it's strong enough to like rip through plasteel. And I'm going to focus it like just into those areas towards them.
That's really cool. So I would say pick either Dawn or Zenith, because they're basically two separate HP pools. So you can aim it at one. One's on one side of the room, one's on the other side.
So I can't like emanate it from me, affecting everybody in, or do I have to like aim it?
You can pick between one of the two groups of 4 which ones you affect. Yeah, because they basically come through the door, and one group have gone to the left side of the room, one have gone to the right, put down a deployable cover, and that's what they've done. Yeah.
All right, then the Zeniths. I will.
Yep, that's fine. Zenith.
I think it's like an alter check, or it may be.
Yes, it would definitely be alter for sure.
Excellent.
And they've got to oppose whatever you're rolling. Good lord.
Sure. So 8, 14, 19, 21.
Okay, we'll see. Oh my goodness me. That is not a success on their part. So as you leap down, this tremendous bellow erupts from you. The damage will be the amount of points you have in alter. So roll that as damage for me, please.
Okay. That's 2. So 9.
Oh, okay, yeah. So they are shook to the core as this tremendous bellowing happens, and they're not really quite sure what to make of you. Just an Athorian dropping out of the ceiling and then screaming at them. They look particularly perturbed at that. But with that said, it is now their turn. It is the Dawn group, first of all. They're going to level their blaster carbines at you, Thul. Now, this is going to attack, because you haven't got your lightsaber drawn, have you?
Oh, I mean.
Or would you have just activated it?
Yeah, as if I'm like, I think out of out of habit, falling into danger, it would be in my hand, you know.
In that case, then, with the flare of a lightsaber, you hear one of them bellow, "It's a Jedi! Blast him!" And their panic-stricken attempts reach towards you. This is going to be going towards your parry, then, as your lightsaber is active, unless you've got a better defensive skill.
No, parry is fine.
That is 14 in total.
14. That's hits. 13 is my parry.
Excellent. So I'm just going to roll the damage that you will receive. Okay, so it's 11 points of damage. That's got to be compared to your soak. So what's your soak?
14.
Oh, okay. So you're actually not affected by that then.
Does it seem like I block it or just send them harmlessly away, or?
Let me see. I'm just going to double check one thing because I want to make sure that I'm doing it right. I'm pretty sure when it hits you, Oh wait, no, it didn't hit. It did hit you. So yeah, damage goes on compared to your soak. Yeah, damage is compared to your soak, and then your fortitude. But it didn't go past your. I don't know what happens if it doesn't get past your soak. I guess nothing then.
I don't
Soak
think
it.
So soak is just your stamina score plus your armor rating, whatever that is. 14 is super high, so I don't know if you have like really good armor or something, but that's like mine is 9 and I have 4 strength and 2 stamina.
right.
So
Hang on.
that might be incorrect.
Yeah. No, let me look at it.
That's because that's fine as long as mechanically it's correct. Like, I mean, I want to make sure that.
Yeah, so you're doing it right. Like anything that gets through soak.
How do you
then
calculate?
So soak is literally just your stamina plus armor. So like stamina is strength plus any ranks you have in stamina.
Oh, okay.
And then
My
plus,
soak is 5.
right, mine is 9 and I specialized in it.
7 then.
Okay.
7.
Yeah, I was like 14. How'd you do that?
Right, so it got 11. So what was your soak? Sorry.
Because I'm not wearing any armor, so 7.
Right. Okay. So that'll mean. And what is your stamina then? What's your stamina on its own? Because if it surpasses that, then it's going to work out whether you get a wound or whether you're just stunned.
4.
Right. So you're just stunned. So on your next turn, you have a minus D6 to whatever you do. Okay. Right. We're back on track. Sorry about that. So you're able to deflect and block, but the force of all of these blaster bolts reaching towards you. Basically have you staggering back, deflecting as best as you can.
Okay.
It is now the Black Sun Enforcer Zenith group, and I'm afraid, because Rannon hasn't moved into the ship yet, they are also going to open fire upon you. Does a 12 get past your parry?
It does not.
Excellent. So explain to me how you are able to get a better grip of yourself and more easily deflect these bolts.
Yeah, maybe I was just unprepared for the first barrage, as it kind of sends up sparks in the wall, kind of momentarily blinding me. But I right myself, and the training returns to me from Ray, and the lightsaber flashes in a cage of light, deflecting these bolts away harmlessly.
And as our vision is fogged with a hail of laser fire, we cut to laser fire streaking after the edict as Kai, well, you're piloting at the moment, and the edict is currently mounted onto the Electo 7. But we can say Rannon actually got off, so you'll be free to fly off if you need.
Okay, yeah, that was
need
a
to.
check.
Yeah.
Did Rannon get
that's
across?
Fine. Yeah, I'll say Rannon is able to move in because Rannon used her movement to go into the umbilical. That's fine.
Okay, I'll like hit the disconnect button, and then I'm going to move like directly up and over, like on top of the well, actually under probably. Where does it have more guns? Everywhere.
Probably the least amount of guns would be beneath it.
Beneath it. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think then, yeah, I will sort of like move down and under it, with the intent of like getting under where the engines are, like behind it, basically, because I know there won't be any guns behind it, or almost never. So like underneath, and then drive along and fly along underneath it to like get a shot towards their engines.
So make a pilot check for me first, please.
Yes. So I'm going to take 2 actions, one to pilot and one to shoot.
Yep, that's fine.
So that'll reduce my pool. Can I get Alexi to help me with the flying? With auto
Certainly can.
piloting?
Add a D6, yeah.
Nice. Okay, it's going to be... so it's going to be... Sorry.
No, that's fine.
that's
We're
a
getting used to this. No, it's all good.
15. 21 with a 6 on the 4th die.
Oh my God.
For the piloting.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, you are basically able to weave the edict expertly beneath the Gazanti as green laser streaks fly past you.
Perfect. Yeah. So my intent is then to fire one of the reloaded missile at the engines.
Absolutely, you may.
So it's 2 fire. And
Oh wait, well no. Let's say what kind of advantage, because we haven't actually specified the advantage you get with the 6 on the stamina. 6 on the stamina, 6 on the destiny die.
So maybe it's a case that
Lines up your shot.
lines up my shot. So for an extra dice or something.
Yep.
Okay. Perfect. I'll do that.
Yeah, so with the concussion missiles.
Yep. That'll be and -1 dice, but +1 dice. Okay. Yep. 13.
That's your attack. Sorry.
That's my attack. Yeah.
Sorry, just going back to the stats. Yes, you connect. Oh my goodness, yes. So roll up your damage, which is 3d6 with the
66 with the missiles.
missiles. That's right.
It's very satisfying when a big. Oh my god, big fat handful of dice in this game. This is very
Yes.
big. It is 30, Rob.
Oh my god, 30.
Yeah.
Holy mother! Right,
5,
well, what
5,
I did.
6, 4, 5, 5.
That's amazing. So, in my head, basically what happened was the 6 on the destiny die made you basically fly around behind the Gozanti, which is actually not where their deflector shields are anchored. So their thrusters are very vulnerable at this point from some concussion missiles, and you basically eradicate half their engines. The edict blasts through the explosion of the left side of the port side of the ship, sort of rocks as you zip past. Excellent work.
Nice. Yep. So hopefully, I mean, as well, I guess with the fancy flying and the firing, the intent is that they would look at me and not the Electo. All right. But I think they're probably pretty concerned after that shot, so that's fine. That's it for me.
Yeah, and they are going to retaliate. They are just going to open fire with their trying to think of the word, battery of turbo lasers against the edict. Let's bring up the edict stats. Oh yes, because we've now said that you're piloting it, aren't we? So it would actually have a higher evade now. So what is your base? What do you have base as piloting? It would be mechanical plus pilot. Okay, yep. So they're gonna try and take a shot at that. What's it like, Kai, as you weave the edict, this light frigate, this interceptor frigate around laser fire, not getting hit?
So he's done this kind of thing before. I mean, not this kind of thing, but evading fire from larger ships. And he kind of has in mind a sort of tracking pattern, and I think he's probably got his eyes closed and is feeling it more than seeing it. And so as he anticipates them firing in the way that he's going to go, he changes direction at the last second. I mean, I'm sure things are flying around inside the ship that are not nailed down. But yeah, it's to him, like, his reactions are superhumanly quick, and so he can make decisions much quicker than the gunners on the other ship.
Yeah, and as we've explored before, Kai is most serene when traveling at untold speeds,
Yeah.
and you find that serenity here as you escape the blasts of the Gazanti. We are back to the top of the round. It is now only 2 tri-wings in their attempt to do something to the edict. They have sort of barreled around, following you beneath the Gazanti, and have witnessed you take out the left sides of their thrusters. They seek revenge. The first one opens fire rather. 4. So it's got you. Does it get through shields? No, sorry, it has gone through shields. It's glancing again, man. They can't actually roll enough to hit you, I don't think, unless they roll silly. So yeah, it just shows that the edict is massively built, and the tri-wings or obviously aren't trying hard enough. Sorry, forgive me. The next one is going to try and shoot you. Pardon the pun again. Yes, finally. Excellent. So that is going to do enough to shake the edict, which means that the edict is under the rattled condition. For this round now, you're going to be minus d6 to everything you do aboard. So unfortunately, Beza, as this tri-wing strafes along, your gunnery emplacement shakes with the impact of it. Minus 1d6.
That's a 13, but it's a 1 on the destiny.
So you hit it. I'd like you to do your damage before we decide what happens. So this is the quad-link cannons, which is 4d6 for me, please, Taylor.
And that one's not at a minus.
Damage isn't at a minus, no, it's just skills.
16 damage.
So yes, you absolutely hit it, and the superior weaponry of the edict shreds this stunt fighter. It just isn't built to be attacking frigates. Its wing flies off in one direction, but it, with that 1 on the destiny die, is going to careen into the side of the edict.
Oh no.
So let's see, it's just got to do base damage, and if it exceeds shields and hull, then you're going to get something nasty, I'm afraid. This is going to be fairly big. Right, you don't actually take a condition for that. Only just. The edict is rocked as the final tri-wing slams into the side of you, but it basically glances, for the most part, off your shields. You imagine the hull is going to be pretty dented after this encounter, though. Congratulations, basically, you finished the tri-wings, even at a disadvantage. And as that explosion illuminates the void around us, we move back into the Electo. Rannan, beneath you, you see Thule with all of his might blocking incoming blast fire with his lightsaber. What do you do?
She's going to reach into her robes and pull out a grenade, and then eye it, and it levitates up from her palm and drifts around the corner. And reaching out with her Mirror-Lucan sense, she drifts the globe into the midst of both parties and explodes it.
They're both separated, so you'll have to pick one party, I'm afraid.
But it's a range of short, so they moved either side of a doorway, so I assume they're not more than short from each other.
Yeah, all right then.
Right?
It just seems like, because I didn't let Thule hit them both with his force powers, so that was the only reason why.
Yeah, he should have argued that sound goes in any radius, not in a cone, but that's his prerogative.
Okay, next time we'll allow that then. That's fair enough. You're absolutely right. It would be short distance. Can I just ask, Rannan, would you be still in the umbilical at this point? So you're hovering it down the umbilical and across the room to them. So you're still...
I don't want to go out into the laser fire.
Okay, that's
I'll just send the ball around like a little droid.
No, I love it. That's fantastic. So you'll absolutely do that. I'd like you to do an alter check, please, to guide the grenade.
Okay, 7 and 6, 13 and 5, 18.
Okay, so let's see. This is going to be based on a dexterity item of some kind for them to evade the grenade. So, what was it you got? Sorry, 18, did you say?
Yep.
Yeah, that's going to get them. So roll up the damage for the grenade.
So it's 3d6. Can I use my force points to double the damage of the frag grenade?
You can't use it to double damage. It's only to achieve.
Attempts.
Yeah,
Okay.
Things like that. You can't change the power of the grenade.
So 11 all up.
Ouch. Yeah. So a grenade sort of hums softly across the assembly point over Thule's shoulder and towards the middle of this mass. They realize at the last second, but it's too late. There is a powerful detonation that erupts between them, and they are thrown sideways, staggering up, and 2 of their number collapse motionless with shrapnel embedded in their armor. Is there anything else? You only declared the one action, I believe, or did you say something else?
No, that's it.
Perfect. Excellent. Yeah, Rannan, you. I imagine you'd be pleased with that result. I've lost the initiative. Let's see. So, Thul, it is now your turn. You see a detonation before you.
Yeah, are any of them down? Or
Yeah,
it-
two of them fell. Two of them are down. They're
of them
basically
fell?
using HP pools, essentially, two of the groups.
And okay, yeah, then I move amongst them. I shorten the distance right in their midst, and I will attack with a lightsaber.
Yeah, fantastic.
And this is what skill am I using again to use this?
So to use the lightsaber, that is your melee skill. So let me see.
That just
Yeah, melee. Yeah, so it's in dexterity. So that's what your lightsaber attack is.
Okay, excellent. I'll do it. Does a 7 hit?
I'm afraid it does not.
That's it then.
Okay, yeah. So you, what is it like when you dash forward, but to no avail?
Yeah, maybe they're just getting up. And do they have like melee weapons, or do they have like what do they call those? Like
Yeah, they have shock batons, but they don't appear to be. None of them are actually holding any of theirs yet. We're on sort of blaster duty at this point.
yeah, I close the distance. And I just bring the lightsaber to bear on one of them, and he quickly brings up his weapon as I like sever right through it, like cleaving it in two as he reaches for his melee weapon to confront me with it.
Yes, I love that. So yeah, they're all staggering to their feet, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Some of them pull shock batons and rush at you to attack your parry.
My dodge is higher than my parry, so it's 14.
Tell me how you dodge. Basically, like two of them just dash at you, swinging these crackling electrical batons at you.
Yeah, with kind of like I've said before, just very he walks weirdly, but within this kind of battle stance, this battle dance, he seems to be very spry as he ducks and moves his body to avoid the attacks, or uses the lightsaber to deflect the blow.
That's amazing. And you see that while half of their number were doing this, the other half are sort of looking towards the entry point, wondering if anything else is going to come out from that direction, because obviously they were terrified. They don't know if it was you or if something else came out. They're just a bit confused by the whole situation. But yeah, as you're whirling your green saber about you, no, you know what? No, they are going to just remain. They're going to basically be readying an action. That's what I'm going to say they're doing. So with that, as you desperately defend yourself, we jump back out into open space. Kai, upon the edict, it is your turn.
Just unmuting the 10 things I have to unmute. Okay, I will continue what I'm doing. I think I will. Does the missile reload, or will it be my next turn?
Yeah, your next turn, you'll be able to fire the missiles again. Until then, you got to do something else.
Okay, and they fired at us, but they weren't able to hit us properly. They glanced a few times, right?
Yeah, there's only been one actual hit on the edict at this point. Yeah, so they've glanced. Okay.
Can I take evasive maneuvers and use a piloting check to make it harder for them to hit us?
Yeah, I reckon 100%.
Okay.
Yeah,
so definitely. That's what I will do then.
So we'll say that doubles your piloting proficiency that's added to the defense of the edict. Okay. Yeah, so it'll be 16 now.
Okay. Do I need to roll for that, or?
No, you can just say that. I reckon it's like defensive, like the dodge action or something. Yeah.
Perfect. That's what I'll do then. I'll just begin flying somewhat erratically and just try and avoid getting hit.
Yeah, it's almost through the barriers of your mind, you can sense just absolute panic aboard the Gazanti. They're not entirely sure what to do in this situation, being completely outmaneuvered. But regardless, they are going to attempt to hit you with your bolstered piloting ability. And you see their turbo lasers, their batteries whirl about and woo-doo-doo, 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 and completely miss. So don't worry about that. You're able to whirl the edict about the many blaster streaks that are moving towards you. The tri-wings are completely finished. That means Beza, it is your turn. You are still on the gunnery station.
With the tri-wings finished.
Yes, the last one slammed into the side of the edict, but you don't think there's been any lasting damage.
Yeah. I will go and, for the moment, make my way up to the cockpit and assist Kai. And if there's a like defensive or like a shields that I can be angling, because I'm not sure if we want to destroy their ship. And I don't know how good Beza's aim is on disabling it.
Yeah, I mean, that's up to you. I mean, you can either just keep shooting at it. You can absolutely make a census check to angle your shields in a different way. Yeah, it's up to you.
Yeah. Oh, there's an idea in the chat. Would there be a way to sense their engines?
You can use a census check to sense their engines and their thrusters, but I mean, Kai's already lit up half of them, so they're kind of already there. I mean, you're open to just blast them, or you can try and scan the ship to work out more about it.
Okay, but if I'm just worried that if I blast them, it'll destroy the whole thing.
I mean, that is a possibility for sure. It's difficult. They're a hostile vessel. It's all panic and alarm stations at this point.
Yeah, I was just gonna see if there's a way to like disable the engines remotely.
Could we try and do a? I mean, it's not big enough for a trench run, but like go across the top of it and try and take out their guns on the top. Like if I'm doing evasive maneuvers and Beza is firing at their guns.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, you can absolutely just target their weapon systems. That's exactly what they did to the Lacto 7, so it would be a taste of their own medicine. For sure then, Taylor, if you'd like to roll up an attack with the twin-linked cannons, you can go for their weapon systems.
Yes, I would like to. Am I still at the disadvantage?
No, that was last time. So
Okay,
you are no longer rattled. We are not rattled anymore.
Oh my god, math. 15.
Just connects. Very good. So if you'd like to roll 4d6 for your damage.
14.
Okay. Yes, you're able to blast away a good number of their weapon systems. What does it look like?
Yeah, I think there's kind of that force connection as Kai and Beza are apart, but they kind of coordinate this mentally. And as Kai pilots these evasive maneuvers, Beza angles the gun, and they do the kind of strafing run and fire. And you see as the ship flies past, the edict flies past, you see the kind of turrets hanging loosely by a few wires.
Yeah, he's sending messages because he's like slightly ahead, I guess, in the shape of the ship, of like what he sees in advance, so that Beza has time to like get the aim in, and it's like a force connection.
That is so cool. Yes, I absolutely love that. Yeah, the edict lights up the other side of the ship, and it's almost through the force you can sense someone aboard the Gazanti screaming, "Can somebody just hit them?" And as we move from Beza, sorry, lost initiative again. We are now on Rannon.
How many like targets can I sense around the corner where Thul's fighting at that doorway?
That'll take a sense check, which will be an action of some kind.
Yeah, no, I won't do that then. I'm just trying to determine if I need to engage in melee or if I should wait. delay my turn so that Thul can have another turn and then get out, and then I can just grenade the leftovers.
Yeah, I mean, you
Can you delay in this game?
I mean,
hold an
I don't see why not. It doesn't really affect things. It just puts you. I guess you'd have to, yeah, just for this turn, yeah, for sure. And if you want to do it again, you just say you want to do it again. That's fine.
Yeah, I'll just like delay my initiative till after Thul.
Okay, so there is no action from the from the umbilical above you, Thul. You are being approached by these enforcers. What do you do?
So based on how I see this, I'm surrounded. I'm in their midst.
Yeah, they're starting to like come into you now that they've drawn their melee weapons for sure.
Yeah, the force bellow moves into my throat again, and I send it out in just an area of effect just around me. And I'm trying to stun them or knock them unconscious with it.
Okay.
Is this another altar row, right?
Yes, this will be altar. Yeah, that's right. And they're going to oppose for what little it's worth.
All right. So it's 18, 25.
Yeah, you did it with the 18. So yeah, you absolutely affect all of them.
The force point to double my altar damage. Can I do that?
You can't use force points to double damage, I don't think. It's just on skills.
Just on skills? Okay.
Yeah. Attacks and things like that.
Now, when I do the altar damage, is it just the altar? I'm making another altar roll, or just the altar dice?
It's the damage. Yeah, it's the altar dice. Yeah.
All right. So I don't use my force ability in that then.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So 7. That doesn't seem right. I guess that's the damage.
I know you can't. I know you can't do. You can't spend a force point to make damage more, but I think, yeah, it's basically what it is when you hit with a force power, the dice that you use to hit them with that force power then is your damage. So whatever you roll to hit them just then, roll it again yeah. Okay. But you can't use your force point to double the damage, if that makes sense. So you don't include okay, gotcha.
All right, cool. Yeah, okay, so then that is 17.
Yes, that's much more like it. So we can safely say that Black Sun and Forces Dawn are out. There are, let's see, 2 remaining members of Zenith. What is it like as you splatter 4 people with this? You don't kill them. You said you didn't want to kill them, but you smash them.
Yeah, it's just this high pitch force bellow that causes them to, it probably blow their eardrums out and force them just to writhe in pain as it just echoes like right through their skull, forcing them against the wall.
Yeah, it's like they're hit with like G-force. You can see the skin upon their face ripple as your shout reaches them and leaves them just a broken, unconscious mess as they slam into the walls. Excellent work there from Thul. The Black Sun Enforcers Dawn group are gone. It is 2 remaining members of the Zenith.
Can I go before them?
Oh, of course you do, yes.
I'll take my turn now.
Yes.
I'll walk around the corner and begin stalking down the hallway towards where there's this bellows just gone out and eardrums have burst and men are writhing around on the ground. And I'll reach out with both hands and I'm going to do an altar, 2 altars, 1 on each of those guys' helmets to implode it using the force.
Just the one guy, yeah?
Oh, there's 2 guys, right? So I'm doing 2 attacks.
That's fine.
Losing a dice off each. So I'm going to use my altar.
That's fine. Oh, God.
So on one guy, it's 17. And on the other, it's 8 and 7, 15.
Both of those are going to be successful. So, yeah, roll it up.
Is it just my altar dice?
It's your altar dice, correct.
So 12 to one and 7, 8 to the other.
Explain exactly what you do to them.
I just reach out and they both kind of stutter and fall back. I imagine the helmet's like we can't see what's in it or whatever. So you probably don't notice much. They just kind of stumble back, reeling at their heads for a moment, and then shudder and drop to the ground.
Dead,
and then
Nico?
she'll. No, hearing Thul's. Oh no, Thul didn't say that he was taking them alive. No, I don't think she would. The others look like they have bloody eardrums or are already killed, so she'll just
Okay.
pop both of them down and then walk towards the others and see that. Look to Thul and say, "Do you need healing?"
Yeah, you see no visible wounds on him. Maybe a few sparks from just residual blaster fire, but he kind of nods in his kind of expressionless Ithorian way.
There might not be time. We should push on. What do you sense?
Can I sense? Can I reach out? Are we out of rounds?
No, we aren't technically.
Still in aerial combat.
There is still the aerial combat going on at this point. So
Maybe the camera drifts up above the roof and out into space.
Whilst you reach out, whilst you sense, we move back to Kai, who is desperately piloting with evasive maneuvers, but the concussion missiles have just reloaded.
Okay, I'll continue to be evasive, and I'm going to fire the missile at one of the guns, I think, or if there's like a sensor or something, some juicy target, I guess.
Okay, so, well, if you decide, because what I've been doing is whenever you've been hitting them with successful strikes at particular areas of the vessel, they're losing their ability, so they've lost their most of their mobility from the thrusters. They've taken some weapon damage. They have full sensor capacity currently, so that's up to you. Okay,
I think engines is the best thing for me to focus on, so I'll try and I guess I'll get to the end of the strafe and then move back around to the back and try and fire up on their engines again.
Absolutely.
So that'll be this. That's 11, 16, 18.
Yeah, that's gonna hit. Yeah.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. 20 damage.
God. Oh God. Hang on, I'm just having to look up because I think they have got another another modifier thing that's happened to them.
Once their engines are done, we don't need to be near them anymore, sort of thing, because they can't get away.
Oh man! So now not only are they rattled, but their hull is now damaged, which means that every system that they have, that's weapons, life support, sensors, everything is now down a dice. So basically all of their systems are compromised at this point now. That was an excellent shot. You see the Gazanti beginning to sort of lurch in a sort of strange direction as you zip past it.
Is it worth opening up a hail to them at some stage? I won't yet, but I think it's worth considering that at some stage soon we can hail them for surrender, so we they don't end up drifting into the sun and dying, you know?
And it's funny you mention that, because as they drift round, their guns do not level upon you. They level upon the Electo 7. And I think with a 6 on the Destiny die for them means that their defiant shots towards the Electo 7 hit their final thruster. And shuddering, sparks flying from the back of it, the Electo 7 begins to be dragged towards the neutron star. That is the Gazanti's turn. Beza, it is your turn.
Oh, we don't have any Star Trek style tractor beam, grab the ship out of space stuff, do we?
Only the larger vessels have tractor beams, and there are none in any of the ships that are currently fighting.
Yeah. I think Beza, I'm not sure if she can see that from where she is, but I'll say she can. And she'll instinctively like reach her hand towards the ship as if to keep it from wow, it's starting to rain really hard. To keep it from good God, going towards the neutron star, and I will try and hold it with the force.
This is going to be incredibly difficult. I'm not going to lie to you. It is a spectacular feat with the Force to be able to move a ship in any way. So if you're successful, then fair play. I am writing a DC down onto a piece of paper, so it's completely fair.
Okay.
Give it a roll.
I'm going to use a force point and double my dice.
Yep.
Is this going to be alter? Control?
It will be alter, yes. You'll be using the Force to grip onto the ship.
Okay. I need to figure out where I put the rest of my dice. Did my cat steal those? No. Okay, no, I can't blame the cat. All right. Let's see. Ooh, yeah. So Lloyd has suggested that what if I start it and we can add to it as the turns go, and like create a pool. Is that a possibility to aid each other?
I think that's really cool. So I think yes, I will absolutely allow that because the DC is very high, and I honestly don't think you'll be able to make it just on yourself. So we can add to the pool certainly and see if we can maintain it, because it will be a tug of war between you and a neutron star. Not gonna lie.
Fun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I will basically start the pool.
Is that your result, Taylor?
No, that's the pool die. That's the number of dice.
Oh,
Got
I don't
you.
know how are we doing this?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought you meant you were just going to put your total in. Oh,
No,
I see what you mean. So
dice.
you're going to spend a number of turns developing a pool to spend them to see if your spending of the pool beats the DC like a duel.
That's kind of what I was thinking, but I don't really
know
if
it.
that's...
No, I like
it
that.
kind of mimics the duel system.
Yes, I actually really like that.
Yeah,
I really like that. So yes, we will say that then. You can build your die into that amount. That's great. So what's it like when you reach out and make the initial stages of stopping this thing?
I think it is instinct more than choice, and then the realization of the choice that she must make now. And you kind of see Beza's hand trembling, and there's beads of sweat on her forehead with the effort of it. She instinctively braces her feet against the floor, and she will kind of call out to Kai, "Help me." And that will go out to the others as well, but her mind is only to Kai for the moment because she doesn't know what Ronan and Thule have faced.
Yeah, perfect. You're desperately reaching out, and as you're doing so, we return to Thule.
Yeah, Thule will he sense this like shift or this desperation in Beza?
Yeah, well, I should have said actually aboard the Electo 7, you would have absolutely felt that there was a direct hit from the Kazanti.
Yeah, we're starting to shift.
Yeah.
In that case, I'm going to spend 2 actions. One to sense the problem, and then my second action to do something about the problem.
Sure.
Okay. So, oh gosh, that's an 8. Do I sense anything with an 8?
What exactly are you trying to sense? Just that there's something.
I guess I'm trying to reach out to sense like the distress from Beza. I think that's like what's going on. So I would.
I don't think an 8's going to do it if Baze is like as concentrated as she is on this task. I don't think an 8's going to do it.
Okay, then I wouldn't do anything with my second action, knowing that I'm just not working from complete information. So I'll be done.
Okay, yeah, Thul is reaching out telepathically. Rannan, you see this. What do you do?
I'll press on my comm link. Kai, report. Where are we at?
The ship is drifting. We're trying to pull it back. We need your assistance. Focus.
So she'll use her altar as well. I don't roll them, right? I just give them to the thing. So I have an altar of 5, like 5 dice.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll use my force point, so that's 10 that I'll add.
Okay, so what is that on? What are we on at the moment? Is someone keeping track of it? Sorry, I saw it in the chat, but it went up.
16, right?
So 16 in total. Excellent. Okay.
Did you add? Sorry, I didn't see. Did Thule add as well, or no?
No.
Okay.
Thul
Then
tried to
16.
reach out to Beza. Yeah. Okay. Yes, you're adding to this pool to try and prevent the ship from slamming into a neutron star.
I'll also, on the comm link while I'm still there, I'll order Alexei. All the enemies are dead, right? As far as I know, all the ships, the enemy ships, they're disabled or dead.
The Gazanti, you aren't sure. It probably not fully disabled, but you're not outside to know that. And you imagine there's going to be more troops in the vessel you're in currently as well.
Yeah, I'll say to Alexei then for him to try and destroy the Gazanti while we're all forcing this, so that it can't fire on either our ship or this already wounded ship that's drifting, and that'll be it for me. Unless he can safely disable it and guarantee like no chance of it being able to fire at us.
Well, it's looking a bad way, and I think along with that report that you get, you're able to tell Kai that is your thoughts on it. But let's see, Kai, we're now back to you.
If I add my dice to the pool, can I make the roll, or would it be the next person?
I think
Next person.
it would be I think you either got to do one or the other. It's a big task. It's a ship.
Yeah. I just wonder, like, I don't want to lose that Gazanti cruiser, and I don't want everyone aboard to melt in the sun. Either, but I also don't want them to shoot at.
Yeah, I reckon we get Alexei to use the ship stats to kill the Gazanti while you use the force to save us.
I think let's have him put our ship between the ship we're protecting and their ship, so that if they fire on us, our ship is hard to hit, and we're at like maximum health. So I think that could be okay, and then that way we can try and salvage their ship.
So pilot the edict behind the Electo, or
between the Electo and the Gazanti.
Okay, yep, that's fine. So you zip back to there.
Alexei to do that, and then I'll add 8 dice to the pool.
Yeah, I'll make Alexei's rolls. Pilot check's fine.
So I'll add 8 dice, so it'll put us at 24.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll put get Alexei to put us in between, I guess, and hope we can survive till Beza's turn.
Yeah, because the Gazanti, you notice they're just wildly shooting at this point. Like, clearly, everything's gone to shit for them, and they are going to attempt to open fire upon the edict. If anything, desperately trying to move away from you now because their systems are severely compromised, shall we say. Their integrity isn't looking great. As a warning to you, I know you say you want it alive. It looks bad for them right now, so just letting you know. Okay. Oh no, they lose one. No, 2. So 2 off their attacks. Good lord. So a desperate blast of turbo fire, but it isn't enough. The as you quickly jump out of the piloting seat, Alexei takes over, and just in time, as streaks of blue light just avoid you. So that is the Kazanti, and you know what? Actually, with their systems being impaired, I think eventually they're probably going to be victim to the neutron star as well, as another point to say. So with that, it is now Beza's turn. You are focusing as hard as you can. What's going on with her? Beza? We're missing a Beza?
I'm sorry, my internet keeps going in and out, I think, with the storm.
That's okay. You're still here.
Okay, what's happened?
Okay, so Kai swap places with Alexei, who was able to pilot the edict out of the way of Gazanti fire, and Kai then was able to put his force die into the pool, now making it 24.
Oh my god, okay.
Yeah, so it's now on 24, and you're reaching out and holding it as well. What you do?
Okay, what do you think? Do we roll it? So I'm rolling 24.
How long have we got?
Well, it's
What's the impetus to roll it early?
It's rapidly moving towards it, but I mean,
Yeah.
you reckon you could last another round for sure.
But if we do it now, we could also potentially save the Gazanti as well.
Okay.
I think that might be worth it, like for a cruiser-sized ship, and the lives on board.
What do you think?
Yeah. We'll say then that in this moment of desperation, dun, 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 your minds are bridged, and you can make a very quick counsel as to whether you use it now or later.
I would say now, and then we can attempt to save the Gazanti as well. That would be my vote.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, I do have a dice roller open because I don't want to do that much math.
That's absolutely fine in that case, then, Beza.
Here, let's have a sound anyways. But I'm using a dice roller. 94.
94.
Yes.
Bam, bam, ba, ba, bam, 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 ba, 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 bam. How do all of you pull the ship to a reasonable point of safety? Beza.
I think it's kind of a split screen of all of us. And you see each one concentrating, and then Beza's screen kind of zooms in on the trembling hand, and it gets calmer and stops trembling as the music swells, and she like closes the fist and pulls her arm in.
Yeah, it is a sensational act of force power, as somehow joining in the force, you are able to pull the Electo 7 from the gravitational drag of the neutron star. Excellent work. That is, Beza is now Thule. You feel this happen.
Yeah. It's like shift. I'm assuming I feel a shift in the force or something. I mean, I don't know if I do or not. Like, I'm moving without the power of like what I sense that this is not moving based on like thrusters moving.
You'd know that it's a combination of your power and your friends that are moving this vessel. So you'd know, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, then I just try to reach out and assist in the concentration of it. I reach out to probably my companions based on back on the edict, and either bolster them or help move the ship, unless we're out of danger. I don't know.
I mean, I will tell you for nothing. You're definitely not out of danger. The Force tells you this.
Okay. Then I will assist in that, in the moving of the ship. I will contribute my 4 cents to the great efforts of my companions.
Well, it's already done. The pool has been spent, and you've saved it. So that would be a wasted turn. I'm afraid you've already pulled it from danger. But what I mean by is you're still in a dangerous situation in the sense that there are people still on board.
Okay, then I move in that direction. I reach out with the sense to sense the captain of the ship once again.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Go ahead.
Great. Let's see. 16?
Yeah, you see through the Force an image of a blast door sealed by some welding tool. You sense with more clarity now that there appears to be a number of individuals held hostage upon the bridge of the Electo 7.
I look to Rhiannon. It seems they have held the captain and the crew captive. We must move forward carefully. They may execute the prisoners.
And she'll look down at the writhing men or the slain, and she'll squat down at one of them and like reach in and pull the transmitter from his ear and place it to her own so that she can listen to the enemy channels or any chatter that comes through there. And she'll say, "Here, help me with this." And she'll begin taking off like the armor of one of these individuals, intending to like disguise herself as one of these TAC response team and driving the Ithorian forth as a captor.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Sensing this ruse, I will comply.
Yeah. So with the earpiece, the comm piece or whatever that you have, you can hear a voice of the individual that had hailed you. It would seem that the signal he was speaking on was rerouted through the Gazanti to you. So this person was actually aboard the Electo 7 the whole time. You can hear this comm now, this man yelling, Enforcer Team Dawn, Enforcer Team Zenith, come in, Enforcer Teams. But there's just
the Dawn
receiving Dawn.
It's damaged.
There is silence for a moment. Are all hostiles taken care of?
Yes, affirmative. Prisoner back to lead.
There's another pause. So, return to the bridge, and then there's the communication is cut off.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And I'll say, "On you go," and I'll like not mockingly, like when you make that gesture with the gun, like "On you go, Ithorian," and like behind him, so that if they do like verify us on camera, it will look legit.
Yeah, like a shove from probably a recovered blaster will issue a low rumble from my Ithorian belch, or my Ithorian roar.
Save it for the captain, I'll say. Like an iteration about the bellow, of course. I'm intending to like drive him into the midst of them, and then yeah.
I love that. So you make your way through the corridors towards the bridge. And as Thul had seen, the blast doors to it have been magnetically sealed, so will require a locking. But I suppose on your approach, actually, they'd probably know, wouldn't they? They'd know you're coming, so maybe they'd just open them. Yeah.
I'll just like come into the comms and I'll just hail like command and say barred access en route to the bridge.
In fact, you know, this works perfectly because basically all of the Electo 7 systems were down. My thinking was, oh, hang on a second, they might have surveillance that could have seen you change and things like that. But I have already said all of their systems are down. So they haven't been able to see this. So they would absolutely open the door. So with a the door to the bridge opens, and this is a rather impressive vessel. However, as on your journey towards the bridge, you've walked past many dead New Republic security. And upon the bridge, the same has happened here. Many lie dead, but there are a number of figures within visible distance, and I will describe them to you. First of all, there are a number of Republic officers that have been subdued and bound. There appears to be a man in Captain Regalia and someone in Commander Regalia. The rest appear to just be officers and maybe an engineer, perhaps. But among them, standing above them, guarding them, are a number of varied figures. You recognize the first human who hailed you with the black handlebar mustache and the slick black hair. He wears advanced-looking armor and has a blaster carbine over his shoulder. There is a Trandoshan or Trandoshan standing next to him, who appears to be breathing hard, his shoulders rising and falling with some kind of feverish rage that is upon him, and you can see a mohawked Rhodian holding him back because clearly the Trandoshan wants to just, start going to work on the prisoners. There is a Weequay that appears to be cybernetically augmented with an arm with a spinning blade on it. And finally, there is a heavy Gran, a big cow-like alien with 3 eyes, with a huge, heavy repeating blaster. And they all turn as you approach. The man stands forth and says, situation report, Enforcer.
Squad Dawn were engaged beyond. Some of the infiltrators escaped. I managed to catch this one. The rest of the squad is down.
The man walks forward for a moment. I think we're going to have to do some kind of deceit thing because he would know he would know his crew. So I will check. Let's see what it is. Is it? I think it is deceive. Yeah,
yep,
deceive.
I've got a good perception. So 8 and 3, 11.
Whether he believes you or not, he humors it and says, "Come forth."
I found this on them too, she says, and she'll pull out her last grenade and throw it at the guys you mentioned who are away from the prisoners.
Oh my God. Right. So, you have just stumbled upon a particularly dangerous group of bounty hunters that work with the Black Sun. And because of their prestige in combat, it would only be right if we initiate the duel rules for this particular thing. So we'll say you get that free shot, first of all, which will add to your duel dice. So if you would like to make an attack upon those people, and if it's successful, you'll get a free bonus duel dice before we begin. So make that attack roll, please, Nico.
Okay. So it'll be, probably not. 9 and 2, 11. I just rolled really poorly.
Let's see. Sorry, I'm just looking at
That's on my altar to use the force to take the grenades into their midst.
And that was just at the bounty hunters?
Yeah, well, I'm not going to go for the other ones because... Pardon? I don't know if that'll help. Oh, it was a 1. Not a destiny die, though.
Double it.
Oh, no, I spent that already. I only had 1 and I spent that.
You have force points equivalent to your force die, Nico, so you probably have more than 1.
Oh, how many do I have then?
Well, your force die is that.
Your force
okay,
score,
it's 3.
sorry, your force score,
okay,
yeah.
so I have
Sorry,
3.
score,
yeah, then I'll use that to double. So what's...
so 11 plus?
12. Sorry, yeah, 11 plus. Here we go. And 8, 19.
Yeah, that's gonna hit them, man. So that is gonna be an extra point for you. So you start off with 1 dual die,
Mm-hmm.
and the bounty hunters. Right, I'm going to do a separate.
Is it in my
initiative
interest? Is it in
roll.
my interest to do that, or should I just put my dice for my action? Like, what's the point of? You know what I mean?
What do you mean? Like,
if I just use my action then to get 1 dice in the pool, aren't I better off? Just using
so
it to add dice.
The dual rule is like you make a check and they make a check, and if you win, you add a die, right? Is that how it
1
works?
die. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I'm sorry, I should have explained. So yeah, the dual mechanic.
Sorry, I was thinking like.
No,
the
no,
other
don't
one.
be sorry at all. I just randomly went into it without explaining it. So yeah, now it is basically a contest of opposed roles. So effectively, what you've done there by throwing that grenade is automatically winning one of those contests before it's even begun.
I see. Okay,
Yeah.
yep.
Okay.
And that was a different thing from what we did to the ship to pull it back in, even though it was
That's
similar.
right.
Right. Sorry. Yeah.
No,
Sorry. I
don't
thought
be
it was
sorry
the same.
at all. I didn't explain at all. So we're sort of flying by the seat of our pants here. What I think we should do is let's keep the initiative. So bear with 1 second. I've got to bring up their name as well because I love their name. Okay. Then there we are. Sorry, it's a mess. Right. So that was Rannon. It is now to the Karadaki Death Gang. And they are each going to have an opportunity to win dual die of their own. So as this grenade is hurled at these bounty hunters, they are hurled back by the explosion. But first, their feat is the Trandoshan Psycho. And rushing forth with twin vibro axes is going to take a swing directly at the disguised Rannon. So I'm going to make an attack, and this you can either activate your lightsaber, because I've just said it's free to activate your lightsaber. So this is going to be against your parry.
Cool.
So the Trandoshan
When would I
rushes
use dodge?
Dodge is for things like thrown and things like that, but I think you can also use it to help.
Oh no, I've got like a type of lightsaber that lets me use parry instead of dodge.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, but I'm just using parry anyway for this one, so that's.
So 14, and that's going to be against your parry.
Cool. My parry score is 16.
So what is it like as this dribbling, crazed Trandoshan psycho rushes at you with 2 vibro axes, but you're able to defend yourself?
I think she just steps back, drawing her lightsaber at the same time and cutting an arc of gold in front of her. And as she steps back, the panel on the floor just upends. And so he just, in his chaos, he just stumbles into further chaos and she steps clear of it.
Amazing. And it is revealed that Rannon indeed fights with a gold blade. Excellent stuff. So as Rannon, you activate your lightsaber and engage. You block that attack. Let's see, who else have we got left? Raskatithe, who is the gentleman with the handlebar mustache, is going to level his blaster carbine at Thul, and he's going to attack your parry for a 17.
That hits.
Yeah, so he wins a dual point as his blaster fire forces you to fall back into a defensive position. The Mohawked Rhodian, who, let's see, is going to deploy a droid gun emplacement upon his back. This little droid runs up his chest, jumps up onto his shoulder, and begins to open fire. And that's also going to be at Thul. That's 12. Is that going to hit your defenses? Thul? 12? Nope. So you're able to evade that. Then the cyber weakway is going to rush at Rannon and swinging a serrated spinning blade at you. He's going to attack your parry for a 17. Does that hit, Nico?
Yeah, that hits me.
So that's a dual point for them. That's 2 to them. And finally, the heavy Gran is also going to level a heavy repeating blaster and is just going to spray the general area with blaster fire. Oh, well, that's 1. Oh, sorry, not the general area. I'm going to say that's Thul, but that's a 12, so I don't think that's going to hit.
Nope.
Excellent. So out of that, they got 2 dual points. So as you clash aboard the bridge of the Electo 7, let's see. We're now on to Kai.
Okay, I'll try and keep the ship where it is. I'm going to begin focusing to try and pull the Gazanti towards us, or at least shunt them in a way so that they're not flying towards the sun anymore. I don't know how doable that is, but I'm just going to add my force die to that. I'm going to use a force point, so I'll add 8. I'm just going to do the same thing we did before, if that's all right.
Yeah, absolutely. So you just wait. So you're targeting. Oh no, using the force to pull the thing.
I'm not in the duel, right? I'm not there, so I can't really influence it.
No.
Yeah.
I mean.
So yeah, like what we did with this ship, the idea would be that I'm just going to add force points and dice towards pulling the Gazanti out of the pull of the ship, of the star, I guess.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
So
do you think we could? Is our ship big enough that if we rammed it slowly, could we push it?
Push the Gazanti?
Or is it much bigger than our ship?
It's only
If
one.
it's a cruiser, it's got to be bigger than ours, right?
It is a fair bit bigger, but you are in space, so.
Right, it's not like Star Destroyer size, is it?
No, it's not. It's only one size category above you.
Okay.
Your
is it
frigate...
conceivable that we could push it if we approached it slowly, or?
Yeah, but it might end up damaging the edict. It depends on the roll, I will say.
Okay, that's better than just me and Beza trying to pull a ship that's bigger, I think, with the force.
Sure.
So I'll do that then. I'll begin piloting, and I'll try and get between it and the sun and begin to very slowly get to the correct approach vector and begin pushing it, I suppose.
I think we're just going to do, because you're absolutely right, Lloyd. You mentioned that this should be opposed rolls, and I think I can't think of anything better than opposed piloting roll between you and the command roll of the Gazanti. So let's do it.
Are they trying to stop me from saving them?
I don't know if they know you are saving them. Yeah.
I gotcha. Okay, no worries. I'm going to use piloting.
Yep.
Is this the roll that will determine if it works or not?
Yeah, it's an opposed roll.
Okay, then I will use my force point for this instead.
Okay, I will just let you know it is a 19 to beat.
Okay, I've got 12 dice. No, sorry, 16 dice. No, 12.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay. Okay, it's well over 20. So they had 19, right?
That's fine. So what do you do with the edict?
31. It's 38. So he'll fly to the back of or whatever side of the Gazanti is moving towards the sun and fly, and then he'll begin to match speed so that they're moving exactly the same speed, I guess, which is something that he would know how to do, but I wouldn't have a clue. And then sort of move alongside it until we're moving together, and then sort of just gently touch against it and then begin to push against it, trying at all costs basically to avoid an impact, sort of moving next to it and moving with it, and then sort of beginning to resist and push back in the other direction.
Amazing. Yeah, it's to equal the grand feat of the force that you performed. Now you are equaling it with a grand feat of flying, and you're able to successfully do that. I think that's a good idea that Taylor's put in the chat as well.
Yeah, could Beza do that?
Yeah, I reckon so. I mean, sorry.
Sure.
It is the Gazanti next, so I mean, they're gonna. Let me see.
Like, I think their weapons are fucked and everything else. I might actually hail them while I'm doing it and say,
Yeah, that's fine.
and just say, I'm trying to stop you flying into the sun. Full stop, I guess. Like, if they want to try and stop us, then they can, but I don't know why they would unless they are suicidal, I guess, you know?
They absolutely aren't. There is your hail is replied to. A different individual, a human in black sun attire, comes on on the transmission hologram and says, "I'm going to see if they just straight up surrender or not, or if they're going to try and leverage this."
I'll tell them
to be honest.
to power down their weapons, or I'll let them fly into the sun.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? I think it just would make sense. They are going to die if you don't do that. They are going to die if you don't do that. So, absolutely, the figure comes on the recording, the transmission, and says, "We surrender. We surrender. We're powering down weapon systems. We're diverting all power to our remaining thrusters."
If you try to leave the system, I will destroy you before you leave.
There is a general nod of consensus. The skeleton crew that is actually aboard the Gazanti make up less than a quarter of the forces that were brought here. So they're sort of making the decisions for themselves now.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, such is the lack of their discipline.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so then I'll just try and move them away. Firstly, away from I want them to drift sort of in the distance, so that even if they did power their weapons back on somehow, like that it wouldn't be very effective for them to shoot, you know?
Yeah, with the edict pressed so close to it, I don't think they could even track you at this point. You're just too close to them. So, yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah, perfect. We will say then, in that case, the Gazanti is out of initiative. Good job. So, with that said, Beza, what are you doing? I understand that hasn't left you very much to do.
Sorry,
We have two and they have two, right? Like we both have two dice in the duel.
Correct.
I'll use my force dice to make it 4 and I'll take the roll.
Sorry, did I miss Beza? Did you do something? Because it is Beza's turn, I think. Did I?
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. It's Beza's turn though. So, like, what, Beza? Is there anything you can do? I know you're on board the edict at the moment, and they've just surrendered, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, Lloyd had a suggestion. How strong is my force link with Thule and Ranan? And could I aid them in any way?
Oh yeah, I reckon you definitely can. Your link with them will be really strong. So definitely you can help. You can give them an assist on on their opposed rolls, because I realize we should be opposing rolls in the duel, not doing defenses. So yeah, you can absolutely do that. You can elect who you're helping, Thule or Ranan.
Whomever's next.
So Thule, you are being attacked from all sides by this death gang, and you feel inspired by your friend from afar. It is now your turn.
Yeah, sensing the strength I feel from Beza, I will use an alter, or control is like moving objects, or is that alter?
No, that's alter. Control is like changing things about your body.
Minds.
Yeah. You want to do alter to move things.
Yep, I will alter the Rhodian's probe droid. It's like a floating droid. Is that what it is?
Well, it's got legs. It's climbed up onto his shoulder, but you can still grab it if you want, for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw it into the Grand. Just like alter whip it into him.
I love that. He's going to oppose. This will make this a lot quicker, actually. I forgot. Okay, so what is your alter attack that he's got to beat?
Okay, so let's see, 14. Now that's 14 on my dice, and what do I get from Beza's like battle concentration?
Oh, so you'll get an extra
dice?
An extra die, yeah.
Okay, so 14, 20.
With that, you are successful. You gain a dual point. What happens when it slams into the ground?
Yeah, it kind of whips right off his shoulder and right into him as he sends like blaster fire into like the ceiling of the ship, forcing him back.
That's amazing, yeah. And as he struck, there's a as his huge heavy repeater sort of strafes across the battle line, so everyone else is like forced to throw themselves out of the way of the chaos. I love it. So while you were successful, you got you got a dual dice. You're on 3, they're on 2. Rannon, it is your turn.
Yep, I'll use my last force point to double that and roll, what, 6 dice?
Sure,
Yes,
to
there
do
too.
what?
To finish the duel.
Oh, no, you can only spend dual die to win the duel. You can
Sorry, what was
use
that?
you can use your force points to win a contest, but you can't spend it in the duel. You can only spend dual
Oh,
points. Yeah. You're only using your powers to accrue dual points.
a 3 against 2 is probably not good odds.
It depends.
There's so many of them, and they have like a lot of different ways they can hurt us, whereas we only have, like, Thule and I only have only specific ways that we can hurt them. So I wonder if it is in our interest just to roll down.
It's up to you. I mean, all it is.
But I'm asking that to the group. Like,
yeah, of course.
What do they reckon?
What do you think?
So the thing about the dual mechanics is like you can use skills that aren't combat based as well. You can use any skill, like a skill challenge, and just describe how you're using it, sort of.
Yeah, right.
And then
Yeah,
it's
so you're just
opposed.
going to use your best skill. That's what I've been doing with
Yeah.
Alter. Yeah.
But like, so it's meant to be opposed so that like they decide to do something and then you pick a skill to oppose it, sort of thing.
Yeah. But like, there's more of them than there are of us, so they've got more chance, right, of getting a success. Like, we can only get 2 a turn. They can
but
get
you can
5.
if they fail theirs, you succeed it.
Oh, okay.
You know? So like,
Yeah.
You get a dice.
yeah, if they fail, you get a dice, and if you fail, they get a dice, basically.
Jedi's, man. Just deal with these jokers. Yeah.
What do you reckon, Dan?
Yeah, I think we should just let it roll for at least until we have double dice on them. Well, let's just go one more round, and if it's
Rightio.
Yeah, it goes.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll use. Oh no, it's a bit sadistic. I won't do that. I'll just use the. For starters, I don't think it can give me any advantage, right, to hand over the heavy blaster that I picked up to one of those captains to add them to our ranks, but I'd do that anyway narratively. And then I'll use Force Alter to the slick-haired guy. Just gonna pick him up and like fling him as fast as I can into the windshield of the spaceship like a bug.
Oh my god! Yeah,
So,
he's gonna oppose.
I got 3 6s. 18 plus 6 is 24.
Oh my god!
I should have rolled dice last turn. It would have been bloody. Those first 3 dice I rolled was 6 6 2.
Well, you absolutely do it. There's nothing he could do to stop you. So what happens? He just flies back.
Yeah, and there's like that dunk, and like maybe like a little Rorschach of blood, and then like slips down onto some like control panel that's going, warning, neutron star, gravitational, blah 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 blah. And he's just like groaning while sparks are flying.
Amazing. I love that. Yeah, he's hurled across the room. It is now the Karadaki Death Gang's turn. And so, God, I keep losing them. Here they are. Right. So the Tranashan Psycho, having seen Rannon perform such a feat, wants to put you down quickly. So this is going to be an opposed roll again. So oppose with whatever skill you wish against his attack with his vibro. No, he's gonna. What he's actually gonna do? He's gonna sling a hooked chain at you, which is garbed with many different pelts from aliens he's killed in the past. He's gonna throw that at you. So he gets a 17.
Oh, he's probably going to beat me. I got 6 and 6, 12 and 4. I got 16, so he does beat me. But the way I'm going to describe my attempt is I'll pull one of those other craze lords in between me and him so that it goes through that guy into me. But yeah, that will be a success for them.
Okay, so they draw even with you now. Raskatide was the gentleman that you flung back against the command console. He desperately tries to get to his feet, and he's going to make a desperate shot at you, Rannon. So another oppose, please, of whatever skill you like. Oh, not that good. He's obviously very concussed from that strike. That's an 11.
6, 10, yeah, 14. She'll just bring like a piece of like wreckage or like a body up in front of the blaster hail, so it just hits that instead of her. I imagine she does that with like one hand, like brings the body up into his arc of fire while she's contending on the other with the psycho.
I love it. As this is happening, the Mohawked Rhodian, furious at the destruction of his turret droid, he's going to rush forward towards Thule with a shock baton. So whatever your skill is to defend against him, he gets a not very good 12.
My 13 will. I see him rushing with the force push to like force him back onto his back.
I love it. Yeah, he is flung to the ground, but jumping over him is the Cyber Weakway, swinging a serrated blade towards you. So this is going to be another opposed Thule for 16.
That will be 11, 14, 17.
Yeah, so you beat him. So with those failures, you're now on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're on 3.
And he's coming in with like 2 like whirling blades or 2 swords, or
Yeah, he's got like a cybernetic arm with a whirling blade on it, basically. Yeah.
yeah. I just drawing up just the detritus or the debris around this kind of council or this bridge. I just move it in like a swirling arc, and it's just like having these things, little pieces of shrapnel, like spin out in all directions, just like intercolliding with this spinning blade.
That's so cool. And then finally, it's the heavy Gran bringing to bear that heavy repeater towards you, Thule. An opposed check. That is going to be 14 to beat.
He'll get it, so he'll get it. He'll probably force me under cover, so that'll be a success for him as I try to dodge out of the way.
The materials that you pulled in front of you are being pushed back towards you as the force of the heavy repeater slams into your defenses. Amazing. So that was the Karadaki Death Gang. It is now Kai. We cut away.
Yeah, he'll just keep pushing the Gazanti like further from the star, and when he thinks it's clear and like the momentum will keep it moving in some direction. You said there was a skeleton crew on board there, like not much at all.
Yeah. Only a skeleton crew.
And all their good fighters are on the other ship, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Beta, do you think you can fly this thing?
Absolutely.
All right. I think I'm going to go over there and make sure they don't do anything stupid.
Okay, so you're going to move to prepare to board. In that case, then Beza, as it would be your turn next, yes, because the Gazanti is out. Beza, if you wish to pilot the Edict back to the Electo 7, that will require a pilot check, please. And Alexi can assist you.
Great. How good is Alexi at piloting?
Well, Alexi's going to offer assistance to you, but if you want him to pilot, he can pilot for you.
Can I assist Alexi?
Yes, you can. No problem.
Okay.
No worries.
I think that'll be better. Beza's like, of course I can. And she like puts it on autopilot.
The ship gives you a few, yeah, +2.
Okay, that's not so bad. I can roll that one.
Okay.
12, 22.
Yeah, that's going to be absolutely fine. The the edict swings back around. Is there any way you want to describe how you landed? Is there a specific way, or is it just as quickly as possible to get the umbilical back onto the Electo?
Say that again?
I just didn't know. I was just saying if there's anything else you want to do with your turn, or if there's anything to do with your piloting that we should know about. Let us,
No,
whatever
I
you
think
want.
it's just getting Kai so that he can get into. I don't know if there's a closer spot to port him to reduce how long it'll take him to get to the bridge.
Yeah, I'll say it'll be slightly closer. That's fine. So you go into a different umbilical point that is closer to the bridge. That's absolutely fine. So, sorry, I've lost the initiative. So we're back to Thule. The duel rages on. You are currently at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're on 4.
4. Okay, I'll go one more. I'll go after the Grand this time.
Yeah. He keeps firing.
Okay, so I'm actually, so it's going to be 6, 12, 16. And it's
Okay,
6
he's
6 on the Destiny dice too.
6 on the Destiny die. Very good. Oh no, Thule got 17.
Oh no.
He's beat you, but you've got 6 on the Destiny die. What kind of advantage does this give you? Something to help Rannon, or what?
Yeah, I think I'm going to give just a disadvantage to the field and an advantage to us. So as he turns that heavy blaster on me, we kind of meet, we lock eyes as the lightsaber springs into my hand. I charge at him. He just barrels into me with that blaster. I'm deflecting it. And as my saber comes up, it hits a control panel and it shuts off the lights in the bridge, and red emergency alarms go off. Cloaking this area in shadow, meaning nothing to the sightless Rannon and me, who can see, both of us can see with the sense of the Force.
Oh, that's amazing. So you're all of a sudden plunged into darkness, but for the sporadic blinking red of the emergency lighting,
And the lightsabers.
and a gold and green lightsaber flaring in its center. I love it. Oh my goodness. And with that, we move to Rannon.
Yeah, well, I won't roll for the end of the duel then with the, it's too close. I'll do another roll. And
Yeah.
do I get an extra dice from you, right?
An extra dice, that's right.
Yeah, I'll just like bring down some walkway from up ahead down onto one of the enemies, pull it free of its brackets. It's going
You
to be
say which one, so I know what I'm opposing with.
The littlest one.
Okay, the guy,
the one who can bear the least steel falling on it. That's
Sure.
the one I picked to drop the steel on. So it'll be 11 plus 11, 22.
Okay, Skatai is desperately I'm gonna say he's littlest because you just crushed him into a window. 22 was it?
Yep.
You get a dual point. Yes, he finds himself beset by a crumbling walkway falling on top of him. He gives out a horrible scream. You get a dual point. You're on 8. They're on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay.
And I'll also say on my comm link back to the edict, like, we need help here.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'm posting that back down there so I can see it. Let's see. So Rannon, it is now the Karadaki Death Gang, and they're each going to make an attempt to try and stop you. So let's see. The Rhodian is going to press upon. Sorry, not the Rhodian. The Trandoshan Psycho is going to press against Thule with a 15 to beat.
Will match his 15. So does he win?
No points.
He's the aggressor, so that means he succeeds.
He's rolling with a disadvantage dice, right? I don't know if that's calculated.
You're right. I will roll again with one less die because it is dark. How did you defend yourself from this Trandoshan that swings wildly at you in the dark, Thule?
Yeah, as soon as the lights go down, so does Thule's lightsaber. He thinks he sees a shadow, and just with using Jedi sense, I just create a shadow in his mind of where I'd be standing, but I'm actually standing behind him.
Perfect. Raskatithe He is, yeah, he's just been hit with a walkway. He is in the dark. He is desperately going to just shoot blindly at the lightsabers. Thul's lightsaber, to be precise. For 12.
12.
Yeah, oppose that with whatever skill you wish.
It's going to be 14.
Excellent. Another point for you as you deflect his blaster bolts. The Mohawked Rhodian is also going to go for you, I'm afraid, Thul. They're sort of switching around which target they go for.
Okay.
Oh, God. 10.
$17.
You get another dual point. Yep, he wildly wait, that was the Mohawk Rhodian. Yeah, he just fires a holdout blaster at you, but you're able to deflect that fine. The Cyber Weakway detaches his serrated blade and launches it at the golden lightsaber towards you, Rannon. So deflect it in whatever way you wish, whatever skill. Oppose it against.
Okay. Oh man, it's 4 6s and a 5, and it's a 6 on the destiny die. It is 24, 29 off the chain.
Oh my
Literally.
God.
I'll just use I'll use the psycho in front of me who's got the blade, like who had that hook thing into me. I'll just twist it up so that those blades hit that.
I'm going to say that destiny die means that we take Trandashan out of the fight with that. So you pull the Trandashan in the way, and a terrible serrated blade just sinks deep into his neck, and he just collapses to the ground.
That's most of what I've been doing, is pulling them in the way.
Yeah.
Of what they've been trying to do to me.
I really love that. That is so cool.
Perverse use of the Force, some may say.
Nah, you didn't kill them.
Yep.
So wait, sorry, there was
next.
one more of them, I believe. Cyber Week. Sorry, Heavy Gran. I keep forgetting Heavy Gran. He's going to shoot at you as well, Rannon.
Okay.
With a 14.
11 and 4 is 15 already.
Oh, how
18
do
all
you
up.
defend yourself?
That one who just threw things at me that I pulled someone up in front of me to block it, I'll pull that one in front of me so that this Gran's replating blast is like into the back of it, and then it drops down while he's reloading, steaming, and I'll walk over it towards him.
That's amazing. So that is now 10 dual points to there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And with that, there is a flare from the side of the battlefield as the doorways open, and Kai enters the field.
Oh, perfect. So I guess he'll just like quickly survey the situation and like force push the nearest one that he can see, like to smash into a wall.
Which one would you like to force push? Considering that Trandashan is now dead.
Not him.
What about the slick-haired guy? He just would have got up from being slammed into a wall.
Yeah,
before.
That's
perfect.
true. Yeah, okay.
And that's the dude you laughed at.
Yes.
Yeah,
Loki dude.
it is the guy. Raskataiv is the guy.
So that would be alter. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, that's what I've been using.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to use my last force point.
Okay.
Good luck, buddy. It's over 30.
Yeah, easily. What do you do to him?
I guess like the door opens, he like has a quick look around and you can see this guy is like getting to his feet, and he'll just like reach out his hand and like brace his feet, and there'll be like a like a subsonic woof, and he'll get smashed against the wall again.
I think it's dazzling as well because like the blast doors open behind you, so light pours in as well.
Yeah.
So this other Jedi comes into the battlefield amidst a pool of light and sends him reeling backwards. That's amazing. Hang on, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 11 now. 11 points. Okay, so that is we're now back round to Beza. You are currently still aboard the Edict. The Gazanti is motionless currently. Is there anything you'd like to do? You can sense all this happening as well. You can sense the conflict.
I'm really, because I'm out of combat then at this point.
Correct. You can assist them again. You can connect with them with the force. You can use the equipment upon the edict. You can do scans. You can do
Yeah,
whatever you want.
let me scan the other ship and confirm that their weapons are powered down and see if there's anything unusual going on.
Yep, I can give you a complete scan if you do a roll with some sensors for me, please. And I believe you also add the ship's details onto that.
Yeah, because I don't have a sensor. I have a.
Yeah, so sensors is in mechanical, and on
Oh,
the
there it is.
ship,
Okay.
sensors. So you get a further 2 dice from the ship itself
Okay.
as well. So
Oh, that's not great. That is 10.
it's still enough with their systems basically in complete disrepair. There isn't really anything stopping you from just hitting the buttons and scanning what's going on. Complete weapons malfunction. Their thrusters are failing, and while they have been shunted by the edict, they haven't been pulled as far as the Electo 7, so they could still be under threat at a later point, but for now they're okay. Also, you get the sign of 4 life signs aboard the Gazanti at this point, so there's only 4 of them aboard.
Okay.
Okay. So, as you make these calculations, we move back to the heat of battle. Thule, there is a bright light as your brother-in-arms, Kai, has entered the battle. What do you do?
Yeah, it's sitting relief that our best fighter has entered the battle. What does what's our dice pool now?
You're on 11, they're on 6.
Okay, I think I'm going to end this duel. How many are still standing? Because I think some of them you described their demise already.
Yeah, so the Tranashan went down just because it was cool and, you know, he got hit by that blade, but the rest of them are standing. So to explain, when you spend the dual die, we do a roll off. So I'll be rolling my 6 dice against your 11. And then whoever is the winner, we all get to describe how the fight ends. So you can choose to take people alive. You can choose to just wipe them out in combat. Like, it's up to you. So if you agree to spend your dual die, we will do a roll off.
Before I roll, do you guys want to take these guys alive? I can describe that, or I can describe their demise.
Take them all alive. It's a leveraging point to the Republic, and like it looks good for us, and you know it's good PR. But it's up to you guys.
What do you think? Okay.
We could kill them too. Like they probably would just end up in some jail and get busted out by other Black Suns and go, but you know, network with other criminals, yada yada yada. But whatever. There's pros for either course.
What we could do actually to make this, because it isn't just Thule winning the duel on his own. All of you are involved. So if you like, you can each say how you take one of them down and if you leave them alive or not. I think that might be a cool way to do it. But first, we've got to see who wins. So if you're gonna roll, then Daniel, you do the 11 die. I will do my 6. Oh. God, 6 against 11. Funny.
19.
Got 21 to beat.
Yeah, much more than that. 31, 32.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I want you, Thule, to pick one of the bounty hunters. So it's Raska Tithe, the Mohawk Gerodian, the Cyber Weequay, or the Heavy Gran. I want you to pick one of those and tell me how you bring them down.
We kind of, with the emergence of Kai, my lightsaber goes up and we all move into an attack formation, our backs, back against back into the middle of like the room here, as we all spring forward on our respective opponents. Me going after the Gran, who's kind of dogged my steps this whole match. I quickly close. He kind of rips into the floor with his like heavy blaster, and I sever it. severed at like the end of his weapon, like destroying it, and then with altar, I will force him to the floor, and then the bellow comes up into my throat, and I bellow right into his face, forcing him unconscious.
Oh my goodness, yeah, he is just
Rad.
pinned to the ground as ripples of G-force just rip across him. The heavy ground is immensely an immensely bulky figure, so you can see him just slam into the ground, and you see his 3 eyes blink out of consciousness. Really cool. Okay, so next in the initiative order is Rannan, so you get to pick next. Raskatai.
Raskatai, as
Yeah,
he's
okay.
just got up from the third thing that's fallen on him.
Yeah.
I'll like grab that rubble and like heft it into him, like slamming him up against the wall, and I'll walk towards him and turn my lightsaber off. And nearly nose to nose, I'll say, "Who paid you?"
Amazing. So we can continue that interrogation in 1 second. So he slammed against the wall. The wind knocked out of him completely. Kai, you've been absent for the fight, so I'll allow you to take out both the Cyber Weequay and the Heavy Gran. Sorry, not the Heavy Gran, just the Cyber Weequay. That's the only one left. Oh, and the Mohawked Rhodian.
Yeah, I think he'll remain standing by the door, and he'll like extend his hand and like smash one into the other, and then like walk over, relatively unconcerned, and like pull their weapons from them, and just give them a look of like, it's over.
Oh, the battle is done. Excellent. Congratulations. You have saved the Electo 7, defeated the crew of the Gozanti cruiser, and now have a number of Black Sun enforcers as prisoner. What was the question, Nico? Did you say who are you working for?
Yeah, look, he said that he was paid by someone, and then when we asked about it, he wasn't forthcoming. So I wonder if he's a little more loose-tongued now.
He absolutely is. He babbles, terrified. He obviously, like everyone who's come across you, really did not expect you to be Jedi. So he is blabbering his mouth off. He says, "I'm commissioned by the Black Sun. They are who I work for. I was given orders by Varga Stax himself."
Why did he want what was on here?
I don't ask questions. I'm just told to retrieve the transversal matrix. But that fool, and he points over at Captain Ganymede, who is slowly getting to his feet. But that fool, he wouldn't open the security gate, and he motions to a magnetically sealed security gate, behind which you see a device of some kind.
It was not foolishness. It seems his ploy delayed you long enough that we could best you. She'll nod to the captain and use the force to throw a blaster over to him, so he can like get to the other prisoners and free them. And
Yeah.
she doesn't want to have further discourse with this fucking space toad. She'll use the force to choke him unconscious, and then put the metal down and put him with the other unconscious guys. I imagine we're going to corral for the authorities to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely. The captain, Ganymede, he approaches, and clutching the blaster that you threw to him, he looks at you in absolute disbelief and says, "You're Jedi. How can you be here?"
We were not so far. We were close enough to hear your distress signal. We came at once, remembering the old ties between the Republic and the Jedi.
You are most welcome. You have given a great service. If it wasn't for you, we would be lost.
Worry not, Captain. Other Republic forces are coming here soon. We have hailed them on your behalf.
Well, my name is Captain Ganymede. I assume you know that from the communications. This is my commander and second in command, Gorg. and he motions to an Aqualish who stands in Republic uniform, who just responds with a "Buh!" You've done
Why
us a
would the
great
Black
service.
Sun want what you're carrying?
It's a device that we were transporting, escorting, I suppose, from Empress Tata. Aboard the planet, there is a hyperspace navigation guild, and through significant funding, the New Republic have been able to develop this new technology, traversal matrix. It will be instrumental in quickly generating new hyperspace routes. This means that we're going to be able to police the outer rim more effectively.
She's got like that's crimson blind across her like eyeless eye sockets, but her pale face and black lips sink, and she frowns and just says, "Only roads go both ways." And she'll turn and leave him to Kai, who was the most interested in what these guys were transporting, and she'll go over to see if Thul needs any healing from the jewel.
Yeah. You go. Sorry.
I was going to turn back, kind of picking up a little bit of that conversation as my senses drift into Rannon's mind of Republican ships outside the immediate space of Tython.
Well, this is an immediate space. We hyper jumped to here.
No, like the images of if they have some type of new navigational system that they could like chart a route to Tython.
Oh yeah, they'd still need the Force to navigate it though, but yeah, they could.
Yeah, to you guys or anyone interested in technology, this would effectively mean it's always been the issue with the Outer Rim in every era of Star Wars, that it is so impossible to sort of police because it's so sprawling. It's like the Wild West. But this, it seems, will be able to generate hyperspace lanes that will be able to help them police it better. And with the threat of the Chiss, that is obviously significant to them.
So,
and that guy told me that the Sun wanted it, the Black Sun wanted it, but the Black Sun, I assume, just wouldn't want it of their own volition. They'd have paymasters above them,
Yeah,
and it
they'd
would
be
serve
selling
the
it.
Chiss well to pay the Black Sun to stop the Republic getting hold of this. They would stand to benefit greatly.
Yep.
Yeah, Black Sun isn't going to use this tech like it's, or maybe they would sell it or use it to create like smuggling lanes or something, but realistically, like
Someone tipped them off to this, I reckon, and paid them.
Yeah. So the question that Kai has in his mind is, it is good and useful to have this to bring order, but if the Empire had had this, they would never have been defeated.
They would have imposed their own kind of order.
Right, like they with the hyperspace lanes anywhere they want them, and like the outer rim patrollable, you can't hide rebels and fleets and stuff in the same way. And the question is, do they establish hyperspace lanes like they exist now, and does that mean that they're just usable by anyone? So he's thinking a lot about it, I guess. It has big implications.
How is it, says Captain Ganymede to any of you, because he's looking at all of you with your varying races and temperaments. How is it that Jedi can be here? 3 of you. There has been no word for so long.
We've always protected the Republic.
So I see.
We are in quiet contemplation, but your distress call, we had to hear it, and we had to help.
You're like the Jedi of the old times. Coming to the aid of the Republic in a most desperate hour. You'll be rewarded for this.
He wants to say something high-minded, like, we don't need any reward beyond the reward of a good deed done, but he doesn't really believe it or feel it, so he won't say anything.
Beza, can you make a census check for me, please? Because a number of consoles upon the edict's display begin flashing. So that's 2 from the ship, and then whatever else you have with sensors and technical or whatever it is.
Hello.
Hello?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, 16.
Yeah, a number of approaching vessels are being picked up by your sensors. They will be here very soon. You imagine? Republic.
Beza will kind of relay that over the force link that perhaps the backup, and there's air force quotes around it, is arriving.
Just in time, Kai thinks.
Same here. I was about to click on mute to say that same. Town guards.
Yeah.
I imagine we all kind of look up or at each other, kind of thing, at this revelation from Beza. And I'll like step away from the prisoners and maybe like fool's arm where they've been wounded and say, "Is there aught else?"
I think we're done.
We could get back to the edict and hail the cavalry. She wouldn't say cavalry. The reinforcements.
Yeah.
And speak to their leader, who I'm assuming will outrank Ganymede. This is just a cruiser here.
Yeah, agreed. We should at least talk with them briefly. I mean, the other option that we have is that we now vanish and we create the myth.
Just as like Batman.
Exactly, like a legend of like Jedi can appear at any time and will when the Republic ship is in danger.
That's exactly why.
And we're not beholden to wait and speak with those military officers if it's not our prerogative.
Yeah.
So that's really up to you if you're going to stick around or not.
If Kai pronounces that, I'll agree. I don't have any.
Yeah.
I can't see any reason not to do that. Unless we want to link in more with the Republic about like just curiosity about what this item is and things like that. But I reckon that's like a wormhole, like a thread pull.
There's a lot about.
Sorry
to interrupt. There is a lot about the Chiss that you have discovered as well that the Republic are ignorant of. So,
I think, like, I mean, in my head, our arrival into the Republic is more of an event than this.
Yep. I mean, it's entirely down to you.
I don't know how you guys feel about it, but to me, it's like we decide to go and talk to the Republic.
Yes,
and it's like
I agree.
A deal that happens, a big thing, you know?
I imagine like they're at the Senate debating a whole heap of shit and the door's
Yeah,
open and we
exactly.
That's kind of the tone and announcement I want to set rather than waiting to speak to some captain.
Yep, I think this way it's
like give us a medal.
The legend is out there, and like this guy was like, and there were Jedi. I know, I saw them. Like, no, there are no Jedi. Like, you know,
we were pulled into a neutron star, and they used the Force to bring us back.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
that's impossible. That can't be. There are no Jedi.
Yeah, let's bounce. Then let's. And what about these mooks? These like this Katagaki death gang.
Let's take.
We'll leave them for the Republic as like Batman offerings.
Yeah, let's take Mustache with us or something.
Ooh, what?
Do we want to ask him questions, or will we just leave them for the Republic?
He's just going to feed us shit, which leads us to his useless paymasters, who are the layer of separation between them and the real paymasters.
That's true.
So I can't see what we can get out of him unless we torment him, which obviously that's not going to be consented upon, so he's useless to us.
Yeah, he probably won't know who the real paymaster is.
Nah, I doubt it, hey?
Yeah, it would be the Black Sun, what are they, Vigo? Like the top level that would know, and I don't think he's that. Yeah, okay, let's just Batman it.
Maybe I don't know, but so just to be clear, this tech could not be used to find Tython. I'm not worried about them landing. I'm worried about them like bombarding the planet. Can this tech be used to find because we live, that's finding the Batcave, basically.
I don't think so, because the
it's
only way
it's a highway, not a radar. Like
Yeah.
it's transport or infrastructure. It's not like I don't think they can find Typhon.
No.
If they found Typhon, they could use this tech to get to it, right? But I don't think this tech allows them to find it.
Yeah, like the thing
Would that be right, Rob? Is that what we'd think? Sorry,
So
what are you
no, that's okay. Yeah, we'll get to Lloyd after that then. So what I would say is you're fairly comfortable in the knowledge that the defenses of Tython are all about the Force, and there is no technology on in the galaxy that could help you get there. It's just about
other
the
than the
Force.
Force?
Yeah.
So this thing is really the thing is the New Republic operate in a very different way from the Empire, in the sense that they basically patrol the galaxy and they support what's the word, resident security forces, that kind of thing. So this is basically going to allow them to like hop around the outer rim with
To respond to domestic threats, hey? Like,
exactly, yeah. So it's going to
Right.
make it a much easier job for them.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Then, yeah, I'm good with them having that tech, and we should bounce.
Yeah.
So as you sort of are having this quiet sort of contemplation with each other, the Aqualish second in command, Gorg, goes, "Ugh!" and he like sort of starts with the rest of the Republic survivors, dragging these bounty hunters to that security gate that I mentioned, and remove the transversal matrix and put them inside and lock it. As he's being dragged, Raskatide sort of is coming to his senses and pointing at you, Rannan. He says, "There will be an answer for this. You can't do this to the Black Sun."
who? Oh, sorry, I was already walking out the door in my mind. Who was this?
This was Raskatide, the handlebar mustache man. He's swearing vengeance upon you.
I'll lift him up using the Force. I didn't realize he'd come around to consciousness so soon, forgetting the Force and limitations of his own body so soon. And I'll drive him back into the wall, and I'll walk up towards him. And who would this be? Karga Stax that you'll go to tell of me to get some answer?
Yeah, he trembles, and if this weren't Star Wars, he'd probably loosen his powers at this point. But people don't do that in Star Wars. So he
Where do I
basically
find
quivers.
this Karga Stax? I will save you the trouble. You'll be rotting in a Republic cell, no doubt.
Ord
So tell me where
Mantell.
he is.
Ord Mantell, he says almost immediately. It is the bright star of the Black Sun operations. You can find him there.
He's lucky to have such a worm as you serve him. Then she'll drop him to the floor and go back to the others. And if they didn't hear that, she'll say, "What was it? Ordem Toll?"
Ord Mantell. I could have told
Ord
you that.
Mantell, yeah.
Kai will say with
Oh,
his
really?
a grin. Well, I think he would know about the Black Sun. I think.
Where are the Romans?
Yeah.
They're in Rome.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, I think so. I don't know. I think Kai, because he has all the background in it. Like, not that it's common knowledge,
Yeah, it's for people that move in your circles, you'd know, but it's a fair question for Rannan for sure.
Yeah, he'd grin like he thinks it's funny, I still think that's a good way to send a message, though. He'll remember that.
And so, is there anything you wish to do before you leave the Electo 7?
Are there any grenades on any of these fools?
I'd say some of the remaining Republic officers might have a grenade or two.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't mean that. I meant our foes. I was going to loot them to replace the ones I'd spent, but I won't take
That's a
from the
good point.
Republic.
No, hang on. Actually, let's have a look at their kit if you want to help yourself to their kit.
Ooh. It's not very
good
Jedi
point.
to pour over loot, actually, unfortunately, even though it makes so much sense. But
Oh, I know. Look, there aren't any grenades, but I can tell you that Raskatide, in his possession, he didn't get to use them, but he has 4 shock mines.
oh yes, please. Yeah, I'll
So
take them.
stealthily with the Force, you can pull them to you. So that's 4 shock mines.
Yeah, I doubt you bend over.
Do any of them have battle armor, Rob?
You landed bending over.
Yeah, that's the other thing I wanted to ask too, because I've only got medium armor.
Do
So I
any of them
imagine they
have-
would have custom.
Raskatide is the only one that's wearing armor. Let's see what he's got. He's got battle armor.
Yeah, we'll take that.
Yep. So battle armor gives you
Yeah,
plus.
like looting the body.
Yeah, I'm actually imagining that he's floating, and then Kai will wave his hand, and all the various rivets will just and we'll pull it piece by piece off him, and just let it float behind us as we leave. God, Jedi are horrifying.
Battle armor +6 to your soak. Congratulations.
Gee whiz, what's your soak at now?
If I wear it, it'll be at 12.
See, I wasn't even. I'm not. I don't see why there wouldn't be a reason why Jedi couldn't wear.
They used to in
armor,
the
I
Old
guess.
Republic wear armor.
Yeah, of course
Yeah,
they
I'm
did. Yeah,
wearing
no, I
medium
know.
armor currently.
I just mean in terms of the system. Do you know what I mean? Like, but
Yeah.
no, I don't see why there would be any reason why you couldn't.
Nope.
So yeah, you could have this round armor like in amidst your robes. That's
Yep.
awesome.
Yeah, what I might do is then we'll lay claim to those bounty hunters' gear and credits and all of that stuff, and we'll just take it all to trade so that we can all get
Yeah.
battle armor.
Yeah, okay. So sneakily, then one of you is able to. I'll give you the full list of the rest of the stuff
Yeah.
they've got another time. So yeah,
That's ridiculous. And based on our last session, now we're just like rolling around, like sitting in council meetings in battle armor.
I love it. Fantastic. And so, once you've gathered your equipment, you are able to return to the edict. Beza, what do you say as your companions return to the bridge?
Beta can sense the desire to leave, and she'll be working with Alexei to plot a course back to Typhon. And she'll just kind of look at them. It went well then.
Well enough, yeah. They know that we're here, but we won't be here when the Republic gets here. That might be useful. They can spread stories.
And I thought you had to be dead to become a legend.
Ethel look at Beza. You pulled the ship out of the neutron star?
I was not alone.
You saved us.
You saved yourself. I simply helped. Are we ready?
Yes.
So, as you begin plotting the course for the edict, is the plan to return to Tython, but via a few jumps?
Yeah, and during those
Always.
jumps, can we stop somewhere to trade our loot for either credits or armor from the same place or kind of place where we sold our shuttle?
Yeah, you can jump to Taris again. So, plotting a course of a few hyper jumps via Taris, you'll be able to do that. As the stars elongate, as the edict is plunged once again into light speed, I would like to make a final check to close out this session. I'd like all of you to make a sense check for me, please. And if we're at the end of the session, you might as well use your force points if you've got any to double that if you wish. Just as a reminder, they renew every session. 13.
Good to know.
May as well, right?
Yeah, well, I got a 17 all up, but I'll use my force die to make that a 34. Oh no, it's not doubles the number, it's doubles the dice, hey.
Double the dice, yeah.
17. So 17 and 14, 27, 31.
Oh my god.
39.
39 from Thor.
39?
29. What is this madness? You must have everything in that. I love it. Okay. So who's the highest is definitely Thul then with that 39, right?
And now me and Kai got the same dice.
No, I think Kai got 13. He was just like saying
I thought he
39.
was
Fuck me
repeating.
dead. Yeah.
Yeah, he was just amazed. Okay, Thul. You know that, like many other things, the Force sends out ripples throughout the galaxy. And what occurred in the battle for the preservation of the the Electo, I can't even speak. The Electo 7 what happened was a feat of considerable sensational force power. A display that has not gone unnoticed. In the back of your mind, you Thule hear two words. It begins. And that is where we're going to leave our session tonight. So thank you guys for that. We did every single mechanical thing in this session. I wanted us to do a ship combat, a normal combat, and a duel, and we managed to do it by the seat of our pants. I do apologize for me flubbing some of the rules, but I'm doing my best to learn them. Thank you ever so much for playing, and for those of you who watched live and after the fact, thank you very much, and I hope that all of your performances are up to standard.